They caught me off guard. The video game industry. They pulled a surprise party. I walked into the room. I came back. I came home from work, and like the lights turned on, and they were like, "Surprise! E3 starts like 4 days early." And I was like, "What? No, I haven't even like put the banner on yet. I haven't even made anything yet." But nope. Apparently, this is the pre-E3 podcast because. It's just I went from having like 4 trailers today to like it's a trailer day. It's trailer day, everybody. So
E-Keely or whatever is the new name for it now.
Yeah, it's E2. We're at E2 right now. We're at like E2.5. So welcome back, everybody, to your very special E2.5 podcast. You're on Rachel. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mike.
And we've got there's so much and it's not even just the games. Like last week, I watched I watched all that like that Sweet Tooth show. Loki came out. That lit ass trailer for He-Man dropped. Like there's a lot going on right now on the internet, and I don't know. I don't know what to talk about. Did you? I saw you posted that He-Man trailer. What'd you think, Michael?
I think it's kind of cool looking, but that's because the guys who made it also made the Castlevania show, as well as a few other things. But if you put "Holding Out for a Hero" on anything, I get hyped as fuck. That's just a fact.
Is that? I don't know that I knew that about you. Are there more cheesy '80s things that I can use to get you instantaneously psyched, or is it just "Holding Out for a Hero"? What about like "Total Eclipse of the Heart" or?
That one's probably the strongest one. There are other '80s songs that would probably do that.
I Am a Real American.
But Real American. Yeah, there's a few, but "Holding Out for a Hero," like it's in so many things that I really love, and it's hard not to love that song. It's in Short Circuit 2. It's in Saints Row 3.
Yep.
It's in fucking Shrek 2. It's in it's like fucking everywhere, and I can't stop listening to it every time.
I was gonna go with the theme song to The Greatest American Hero. I thought that would have been a much better choice, but I want like a really soulful rendition of it, like an acoustic guitar, believe it or not, I'm walking. Yeah, like that.
I guarantee you that exists somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure. If not right now, then by the time this podcast comes out. In fact, it's very possible that's just crypto memory fucking with me, and I've already heard that. I don't know. Look, everybody knows Jeff's feelings about like nostalgia bait, and He-Man might be the oldest like cartoon that I loved. Like He-Man might very well be like the first cartoon that I was super into. I mean,
okay.
Like I remember watching like Spider-Man cartoons and stuff, but like He-Man, that was some early shit. I will tell you a story, Michael. I will tell you a story. So He-Man was my favorite action figure when I was a little baby. When I was a little tiny Jeff, I had a little He-Man. I carried him around with me wherever I went. He-Man. And I was like 5 or 6 years old, and my sister was like 1 or 2 years old. And like being a dumbass kid, I left my shit around everywhere. So I left my He-Man out, and my little baby sister, she got a hold of my He-Man, my favorite He-Man toy, and she pulled the leg off of it. She broke it, and I cried and cried, and I cried so hard that my mom, it was like a month or 2 before my birthday, and my mom had gotten me the new battle damage He-Man with a little thing on his chest that flips to like the little slash and then like 2 slashes. And she literally like went and got my birthday present and was like, "Look, this is for your birthday, but you can have this now because like He-Man's your favorite one." I had a whole box full of He-Mans. I had like the Roboto and Mechanic and Trapjaw and all those motherfuckers, but never Stinkor. No sane human would buy their child a toy that intentionally smells bad.
No one should ever want to do something like that ever.
I don't know.
They're making those toys a lot, apparently. Like I keep seeing them at Walmart.
Yeah, don't ever buy me one. You specifically. Do
yeah, that's fair.
Never show up in my house with a battle damage He-Man, because I prefer that to be like a fond memory. And if it's in my house, then I've started putting everything I own into big plastic tubs. It's just gonna go in a big plastic tub eventually.
No, I'm not gonna buy you a He-Man that you know of.
Of course, if Man-at-Arms comes back, I could rock a big stash. I could rock a big Halloween Man-at-Arms stash. I don't know. This looks all right. This is the one that Kevin Smith is making, right?
Yes. They've been working on it for a long time.
Okay. And like it looks pretty solid. Like there's a lot going on here. I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to be like, they're gonna bring back He-Man, and when I watch it, I'll feel just like I did when I was a child, and not like a horrible adult who had to go to the dentist last week. But it does look pretty good. I mean, the animation quality is high. It seems like this is just like a big montage. So, but like there were a lot of the individual characters. I did see that Orko was there, so that's like -3 on a scale of 1 to 10. Like,
but they made him look cool for like that moment.
I don't do not redeem Orko, okay? Just get rid of him.
Snarf.
Just get rid of him. No, he's worse than Snarf.
Is he really?
No, there's nothing worse than Snarf.
There's nothing worse than Snarf.
except for the what were those? The shirt tails. The shirt tails are worse than everything. It's the most boring cartoon ever made. Fuck the shirt tails. Coming in hot.
Coming in hot on those hot takes.
I paused on the trailer of this like Man-at-Arms with a full beard. I could do full Man-at-Arms beard and then like weird helmet that goes out.
Got some Halloween ideas.
Yeah. So I don't know. This looks pretty good. I also, as I mentioned, I did watch. Let's stick with the stuff that people know about. What did you think? You told me yesterday that you watched the first episode of Loki. Come in. I just got done heating up the tarmac. It's your turn, man. Come in hot. Like, just put the stick down and buzz the tower. Like, give us your hot take on Loki episode 1, season 1.
It's not really a hot. I don't know if it's a hot take. It's a good episode. It's mostly just world building.
Yeah,
for the most part, it's mostly just Loki reacting to the fact that
holy shit, is that Fisto?
Place exists.
Sorry.
No, I think that is Fisto. Yeah. But there's the thing about the entirety of the first episode is a lot of world building.
Yeah,
because it's a lot of just like, look at this agency, look at the shit they do, understand the shit they do. Look at Loki saying this is bullshit as many times as he possibly can.
Yeah,
kind of thing, which is fair considering like the shit he just went through and then is now like basically thrown into like what's a good word of putting it, like bureaucratic purgatory. I guess is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
And just like finding out that, hey, my role in the universe is not as big as I thought it was. kind of thing is what a lot of it is. And it's fascinating because it is watching this character that, you've watched for damn near a decade at this point. Actually, probably a decade at this point. Now have to deal with this shit. And having to, having his feelings just like put out there. I think is probably the most fascinating part of it. I thought Owen Wilson is great. I think he's fantastic so far, and the plot is like I said, it's a lot of setup. There's some stuff going on that I don't want to say right away because the episode isn't that old at this point.
Sure,
but I'm very, very interested to see where it goes from here.
I thought that they could have cut down a little bit of the bureaucratic stuff at the beginning because, man, there was just a lot of like, step through here, sign this, like, oh, what am I doing here? Going for these guys. What am I doing? Oh, I hate this place. And like, check this out. Check out this part of Endgame that you've seen 100,000 times. It's got some interesting implications. I think that I'd like to see. I would like to see more. It's a decent start. I didn't like. I'm gonna say that I still think that WandaVision season 1 was my favorite. I know a lot of people didn't like the don't like the old timey episodes of WandaVision, or they wanted them to be faster or more compacted. That episode 1 of WandaVision is still, to me, so far, the strongest first episode of any of the Disney Plus Marvel stuff.
It's a super strong episode because because with WandaVision, it technically gets going right away because of it, whereas Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier are very much this is the setup. Kind of thing. It's just fine for a television show because that's that's a normal thing to set up what you're doing. Whereas, yeah, WandaVision was about the mystery of what they're doing.
Well, plus the interesting thing about WandaVision was that like the first episode of WandaVision was like a really funny episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show starring like Wanda Maximoff and Vision, and that just happened to have like that one scene where the mom from the '70s show got fucking, she had a stack overload or something and like got all crazy and Twin Peaks for a minute, and I was just like, okay, because the rest of it, like, I genuinely laughed at the gags from the sitcom part of it.
I did 100%, and I appreciated every little sitcom thing because it threw in some Bewitched, it threw in some like I Love Jeannie, or what was it called?
I Dream of Jeannie.
I Dream of Jeannie. I don't know why I got it confused with I Love Lucy. But yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. Like it pays homage to that so well that you just can't help but laugh at the actual jokes that it does.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, just at the last minute, it's just like, here's this fucked up thing, kind of thing, and you're like, oh, but that's what hooked me in so well because of it, because I was just like, oh, geez, kind of thing. But yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that first episode's so much stronger because Loki is just a lot of setup.
Yeah,
just it's like 40 minutes worth of setup.
Yep. We'll see where it goes from there. Also, I don't know if I've mentioned on this podcast before, but you know how last season I was just harping on Jujutsu Kaisen, and I was just like, everybody should be watching Jujutsu Kaisen. Well, this season, it's fucking Megalobox Season 2. Megalobox Nomad is so fucking good, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't normally get into sports animes, but like this one's about dudes what got robot arms punching each other. But then the second episode is like, it's the anti-Jeff, Mike. It's completely anti-Jeff. It's like, oh, I let all these children down, so I need to like regain their trust, and I'm just like, I'm so into it. I'm so fucking into it. Like, that show is great. And then that's almost as good as that as Dynazenon, which is Evangelion if it wasn't up Hideaki Anno's at. Like the way Matt and I
it's not as fucked up. Is it fucked up though?
It's fucked up. Like the last. Okay. I mean, this is like this is like technically a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler. Like the kaiju that show up, they all kind of had different different powers that they do different things. They have got a different gimmick to them. And the one that shows up in like episode 10, it's like people just disappear. And then when they disappear, like no sound, no build up, they just like blip out of existence, and what's left is like a shadow, like they were destroyed at Hiroshima. And like,
oh my god,
the first 10 minutes of that is like the team trying to get together, and they just keep disappearing, and nobody like knows what's going on. You know what? I described it to Matt like if Evangelion took out all of the like the nerve stuff and like the world stuff that they never adequately explained, and it was just like, here's a bunch of teenage drama, like some kind of angst and some fucked up teenagers, and then like in between you've got some thrilling robot fights, and the two kind of dovetail into each other. Like, you know, the robot's powered by like their friendship and shit, so like they gotta make connections, but they're all fucked up. It's a good show. I know I didn't connect with Gridman, but I fucking love Dynazenon, so there you
just
go.
Need something to be fucked up, is what you're saying.
I do need something to be fucked up. That may be why I didn't like Loki's episode. I liked Loki episode 1, but I maybe wanted it to be a little bit more fucked up. I gotta tell you, the Twin Peaks moment with the mom from the '70s show, where she's just like, stop it, over and over again. And I was just like, oh fuck, this is my jam right here, man. I'm a ~90s kid, and this is like some fucked up '90s shit right here. So.
It does a great job with that, but yeah, there's quite a lot to watch right now on television, and I'm very, very happy about that.
Yep. Yeah. Well, speaking of things to watch, you could have been watching last week the full official 5-minute reveal trailer for Battlefield 2042, which, okay, I didn't want to ask you before, and I didn't want to look it up, because I'm stupid, and I want everybody to know that ahead of time. What was the one with the mechs? Was that Battlefield 2142? Do you know?
I don't think I don't know enough about Battlefield, I think, in general, to answer that question.
Okay, let's see if I can...
Sounds right, though.
Let's see if I can figure out Battlefield franchise. Let's see if I can get a list. Video game series... 1942, Vietnam 2, 2142. Okay, so Battlefield 2142 was the one with the mechs. Battlefield 2042 is basically what Battlefield Advanced Warfare. I mean, like
it's very much it's very close to that sort of idea.
So
it's fascinating. It's this trailer is full of like a lot of homages to the shit people pull in that series, and I think that's really cool.
You mean the part at the very end where they do that thing from the, what was it, like, was it Battlefield 2 where somebody like put their plane, or was it Battlefield 4 where they like put their plane up, jumped out of the plane, shot a rocket launcher at another plane, and then got back into the plane, and somebody dubbed in the A-Team song over it, and it was the best clip on the entire internet?
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Because people pull shit like this all the time. Like when he takes out that helicopter with the ATV or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the trailer, it's one of the reasons people love Battlefield as much as they do, because they can do some weird shit with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're looking at like basically near future. We got some wingsuits. We got some kind of nothing really big. There's like, you know what? It's like Ghost Recon, right? Like there's got the Boston Dynamics drones with the dog with the big gun on its head, and like some kind of cyber stuff and some weird looking kind of future tech stuff. And then at the end, there's one part with a gigantic like tornado that comes up, and then everybody runs from the tornado, and everybody's getting sucked into the tornado, and it's just like okay, all right, sure. I don't know. I
guess that's their way of doing weather, which I think could be fun, because I know some multiplayer games would sometimes add like a random piece of weather to it.
I know that they had a part where in Battlefield in like Battlefield 4 they had like you could make like a megalodon come out and like the ship level. They had some like weird stuff in there, but like the whole point of this is that it's 2142 and like resources are scarce, and so you have these what the hell was the stupid name they had for them, like no pats, which were like people with no affiliation, no country affiliation, and they go around
called mercenaries.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, let's get into it. Well, okay, I tell you what. Before we get into it, Michael, what were your general takes on this trailer when you watched it?
It's just a fun little trailer, although it takes another 80s song and just sort of slows it down or orchestrates it or whatever you would call it.
Oh yeah, it was so stupid. Why did you put "Kickstart My Heart" in there? And like they were so proud of themselves by putting a big pause between "oh" and "yeah," and it was like, Battlefield, you guys have a music, you have a theme. Use your theme,
Well, it's fine to use music for your trailers, like the way He-Man did, but you gotta actually use the music kind of thing. Instead, they use like one part of it, and they don't even let it like hit the actual like boom part of it.
Yep,
which was incredibly frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, the actual trailer itself for the game, it's just like, well, this is just like a lot of crazy shit that you can do in Battlefield, and I think that's that could be fun. But it's still just like, hey, look at this CGI series of explosions,
right?
But I don't know. That probably hypes some people, but just not. I don't know. It's neat, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's kind of that that first Battlefield trailer, and like I gotta be honest. I mean, Frostbite looks really good right now. It runs well on the next gen platforms, as near as I've been able to tell. Like as kind of as EA's in-house engine, like it Frostbite's no slouch, and it really excels at games like this that are like arena shooter types of games. I guess the thing is that maybe we're kind of reaching a point where like, okay, so the last Battlefield was Battlefield 5. We established that. Battlefield 5 was World War II.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you know what? Actually, before I get into this, let me answer some questions about some things. So I don't know if this is the next gen. Okay, so the PS5, Windows PC, and Xbox Series X platform will support up to 128 players. So 64 on 64, which is fucking whack. Last gen is going to be capped out at 64. That's actually kind of a good way to like encourage people into the next gen without completely fucking them up.
That's a good use of it, to be honest. Like, it's just like, hey, we can add a shit ton of people to this, so go nuts if you have the next gen. And that's actually a fair compromise, actually.
Yep. There's okay. Let's go down the list here. There is no single player. There's going to be like what they say, a quote unquote evolving multiplayer narrative. All right, just guys, imagine that I'm making the jerk off motion. Nobody's ever told a good story through multiplayer. Go fuck yourself. I mean, not you listening, like EA, go fuck yourself. Or Michael, am I wrong? Has there ever been like a multiplayer focused game that ended up having a really good story that's threaded through the multiplayer game? The only one I can think of is like the first Titanfall, and that was no good. That one wasn't very good.
It wasn't very, like, every time they do it, like, it rarely ever becomes anything. Like that's the frustrating, because how do you really like tell a story in a multiplayer? It's just not really all that feasible.
So I mean, whatever, like nobody let me take the opposite side of this argument and say that I couldn't finish the story of Battlefield 5. I gave up on the story of Battlefield 1. Battlefield 4's story was really stupid. Like, you have to go back to Bad Company in order to find like a good story. Like,
of course,
they've been bad at it.
Yeah, even the big multiplayer games that have stories, like they're still single player to it. Like Destiny, is a good example. That is like, it's very multiplayer focused, but you can still do the whole thing in single player without having to worry about needing somebody. Whereas when they were like, hey, what's going to be all through multiplayer narrative, it's like, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, you can't. There's no way to like focus on a story while you're getting fucking shot at. So it's like, what do you want from it?
I mean, the only thing I can think of, I've been playing, I was a little late today before we started recording because I actually ended up playing a lot of Chivalry 2.
Oh, really?
Which is just like, I mean, it's just this unholy mess of dudes screaming, swinging swords, blood and guts all over the place. And like, even when I lose, I'm like, this was a great time. But that one, it's like they have these little stories at the beginning that just set up like, here's why you're doing this. And they last for like 30 seconds and they're like, okay, now go. But that's about as much as I want. Like, just drop the pretense, man. Warzone's like the biggest thing. Nobody's coming to Battlefield for the story unless it's called Bad Company. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. People in the comments, are there people out there who play? I mean, I actually play the single player for Call of Duty, but like, I have not been able to finish the single player stories of Battlefield for a while now.
No, not since the Bad Company series.
Yeah. Let's see. They've said that there's going to be kind of 3 different game modes here. The first is All Out Warfare, which is basically which has Conquest and Breakthrough. Conquest, I think, is going to be like the traditional old Battlefield. Breakthrough is going to be, I think they actually did this in previous games where they like section off a part of the map to make a smaller, kind of more like infantry focused rather than the whole mixed vehicle infantry big battlefield capture point thing. And then there's also going to be there's one thing that's being built by Dice LA. They haven't talked about it yet. They said that they're going to reveal the experience, the EA Play Live in July. And then there's Hazard Zone, which is apparently focused on quote-unquote tight squad combat. And it is not Battle Royale. Do not call it Battle Royale mode. It's Michael, it's Battle Royale. It's going to be Battle Royale.
It's basically Battle Royale. It's probably Battle Royale without the closing circle.
Yeah,
kind of thing,
or something.
And there's like, well, that's like their different things. Like, well, it doesn't count if it doesn't do the circle. It's like, well, it's the same fucking thing, probably.
Yeah, because you remember that Battlefield 5 was supposed to put out that Firestorm mode, and then they put out that Firestorm mode, and then nobody played Firestorm, and then they quietly just fucking put Firestorm away. I remember.
Yeah, I barely forgot that it even happened.
Yep.
Like, the second you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Because no one talked about it like immediately afterwards.
Because you know what? It would be absolutely ridiculous for EA, Electronic Arts, to put out a new Battlefield game that didn't have something for the Battle Royale crowd. Like, this is some technicality horse shit. You mark my words. They're going to come out and it's going to be like, it's squads of 4. So it's not battle royale because like previous battle, those other games, they have squads of 3. We have 4. So it's not battle royale. It's going to be something like that. It's going to be some technical horse shit because of course it is. It
absolutely is.
Yeah. Let's see. We also found out that apparently there's going to be there's going to be the 4 classes. It's going to be soldier, scout, medic, engineer, and then they're going to have like kind of specialist characters that have kind of like powers, sort of hero characters. That they're going to be up to 10 of them. They've shown 4 so far. Like the assault guy has like a grappling hook, so there's going to be a little bit of, but this has happened in other games. I don't think it's going to be as extensive as like Black Ops 3 or whatever that one was, where everybody had what was the hero shooter Call of Duty where it was, that was Black Ops 3, right?
I think that was Black Ops 3.
Yeah, where it didn't have a story and it was all just crazy. Yeah.
It's either that or 4. I don't remember. It's one of the Black Ops games, if I remember correctly.
Black Ops 4? Maybe it's Black Ops 4. I don't remember.
Is that the one that we like made fun of? The quote unquote story mode?
Yes.
Or whatever?
Yes.
I think that was 4.
The one where they had all those cinematics that obviously were supposed to be the part of the story mode, but then they just didn't use them for anything.
And we started making up our own shit in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's kind of what we know. I mean, they've been throwing out a lot of information. There's obviously going to be some more stuff coming out when the E3 stuff starts coming out. At the end of actually today, the day that this podcast comes out is technically when, or actually E3 started yesterday as of the day this podcast comes out.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, no, it is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday this week. So Tuesday is when Nintendo's conferences, that's like the last quote unquote day of E3, but it starts on Saturday with like somebody, and then on Sunday it's like Microsoft's is on Sunday afternoon or some nonsense. I don't know. I think it's better that it's on the weekends.
Memory was full of like old E3 stories that had happened the last few years. It was like, oh, Keanu Reeves like popped up on my thing of just like Keanu Reeves like question marks kind of thing. I was like, oh yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Yep. Also, they're going to have a thing like in Crysis where basically like when you're playing the game, I don't know if you remember that, or I don't know if you ever played Crysis, but when you play Crysis, you can hold down one of the buttons and it just brings up your gun and you could just cycle through the different parts of your gun and switch out different attachments. Apparently you're going to be able to do that instead of having to like set it all ahead of time.
Is there a chicken throw button? There should be a chicken throw button.
I don't think so. That's too serious. But the one thing that's really funny though is that okay, so we're not going to delve too deeply into this, but basically they were like, hey, Mr. Dice Man, like, seems like your game's about climate change with the climate changing and the giant tornado and there's the refugees that have been displaced and stuff. And they're like, no. It's definitely, no, it's not this. We made this for fun. We made this as a fun game. We just made that shit up. We made nothing. We just came up with that on our own. Okay, here's the quote. It is definitely purely a multiplayer game for us. The reason we decided to go down this route is so we could create a narrative with this world that we could create through the eyes of the no-pats. We wanted to get more spectacle in there and more mass events happening. The setting fits that perfectly. It fits the scale, and it gives us reasons to go all over the world. It's for gameplay reasons across the board. We're not saying anything. And you know why, right?
No, not really.
Because Battlefield 5 was the first trailer, was the one with the lady with the bionic arm, and the internet fucking hated it, and and then they doubled down and they were like, well, if you don't like it, then just get the fuck out of here. And then like Battlefield 5 didn't sell very well, and I think the EA is like, no, it's cool, it's just a bunch of nondescript people shooting each other. I don't know what it's about. I don't even know what it's about. It could be about anything, just army guys. It's like smashing together little GI Joes. That's all it's about. It's not about climate change. Come on. We just wanted a big tornado.
Yeah, it's a multiplayer narrative. It probably is just a bunch of like random buzzwords thrown at something, and they're just like, what if a tornado just showed up in the middle of the fight? So that'd be kind of cool. But like, I don't see this one being like the statement game kind of thing.
I don't think that Battlefield is the game to make a statement no matter what game it is. Like,
Well, that's the thing is, like, if they're going to set out to make a statement, then it would be a full fucking, like, single-player ass thing.
Right.
If it's, like, a multiplayer thing, no one's making any fucking statement other than the tornadoes are cool.
More than like, I already made this joke, but I'm going to make it again because I was editing video earlier today. The statement that's being made is, you remember in Hot Shots Part 2 when that guy is like, war, it's fantastic. Like, that's the statement that's being made here, is like, man, shooting people's fucking fun. Like, that's the entire statement. That's a statement. Period. Yeah. So that's Battlefield 2042. Yeah, I mean, we also had one more story where they asked if there's going to be a free-to-play mode, right? Because Warzone is out there kicking shitloads of ass. Is there going to be cross-play? And they were coy, and they was just like, oh, and then the guy smiled and was like, you'll just have to stay tuned. Go fuck yourself. You're not my friend. Just tell me the information, man. Like, press man, it's your job. I squeeze you like a toothpaste tube, and internet information's come out of you. That is what happens. Like, don't play coy with me. Yeah, let's see. From there, my computer locked up because I'm just taxing the shit out of it, apparently, with all these YouTube videos. It's too hyped. My computer is too hyped because we got the first Elden Ring trailer. Like, it is amazing that this happened during the Summer Games Fest as the closer on the Thursday Summer Games Fest, as opposed to at E3 proper. Like, it says something that this is where this happened as opposed to elsewhere. But
it absolutely says exactly the state of E3 more than anything else.
Yeah. So my feelings, there are a lot of them. Michael, tell me your feelings. You tell me your feelings first. You go first. You were the guest here, so.
Well, it looks like Dark Souls, but with a horse.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of all I could really say about it, because it's like, it looks kind of neat, because, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's still, like, all the designs are really cool. The story is nonsense, but, like, it sounds like the kind of narrative that you would hear in a Dark Souls trailer very quickly. Except that nobody said the word souls at any point, or light the fire or some shit. They were mostly just talking about rings.
Yeah, they did say Elden Ring, though, a lot. Apparently, that's the thing, is that, you remember, go back and watch the trailers for Bloodborne. They talk about blood all the fucking time in the Bloodborne trailers. So maybe that's where we're coming from. But yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm curious because, okay, this looks a lot like what you said. It looks a lot like fucking Dark Souls, right? Like if you told me this was if you told me this was Demon Souls 2, I'd believe you. If it had been called Dragon Souls, I would believe you. If it was called Dark Souls 4, I would totally believe you. The only thing I would not believe is if you told me this was called Bloodborne 2, because it's obviously not Bloodborne 2.
Yeah, that's the only thing it couldn't be, basically.
Yeah. So there's a horse, but see, I'm a little like, okay, I need to know more. Like, I don't want to pass a complete snap judgment, but I would like to know more, because one of the things about the Souls games that makes them very special is these very meticulously created environments, right? These worlds that tell a story. They're designed to loop back on themselves. Well, in a more open game, which this appears to be, like, there's a part at the beginning when the guy first gets on the horse and he's like riding, and like, what he's riding through is just like a very big field. And like, one of the things that was appealing about Souls was a lot of the storytelling that was like built into the landscape, that was built into the architecture, where you could kind of like get information about the world. But then who knows, this could be completely different, because if George R.R. Martin wrote all the backstory, maybe this is going to be like a straight up narrative game where they're just like, go rescue the ring. Like, the ring is necessary, instead of just like this Bloodborne, like, just go out and kill some guys. You don't even know why you're killing them. Just go do it. Or,
read some stuff, and then maybe you'll find out.
Right. So, but but a lot of this too is just like, there's a part here at the end where there's like the lady from the first trailer. That's Smo. I'm sorry, I'm going through the trailer here, and that's just Smo from Ornstein and Smo fight, but he's got a bowl on his head that fire is coming out of. That's what that is. He's got the same big man nips. I mean, he's got a different like bottom. But anyway, there's a part at the very end where there's like the lady from like one of the first trailers who's got like the kind of red hair. She looks like a Valkyrie, and like there's a piece of the fight with her, and it looks very much like the Lady Maria fight, or there's the fight with what's her face in the Dark Souls 3 DLC. I feel like I've had that fight a bunch of times before, and so I guess the thing is that like grungy dark fantasy that looks like it's using the same engine from Dark Souls 3. It doesn't exactly hype me up the same way. I mean, there's even a point here where the person appears to be like summoning helpers, and they're like blue phantoms, and it's like, well, Jesus, guys, just make them a different color or something. Like, do they have to be blue phantoms? Like, could they be like silver or something that wasn't already in the previous games? But I think that From Software's got locked into this thing, Michael, where if they try to do anything that's not Souls, people get fucking mad at them, and so they're just making Souls games forever, apparently.
That seems to be the case, and the fact that the end of the trailer is just like, oh, by the way, this is also on PS4 and the Xbox One still, and I'm like, well, that's kind of not really all that exciting, to be honest, only because it's like, well, I was hoping for something that looked really, really like super next gen, but yeah, it looks pretty much exactly the way all the other Dark Souls games looks to me.
Like this lady in this trailer has this red hair, and she's got the golden armor and the kind of the Valkyrie helmet. Let me see if I can find out. There's a character. There's a character in Demon Souls that is dressed almost the same. Let's see if I can find the God, what is her name? She's the sister of the guy with the big thing. God damn it, it's on the tip of my tongue. Let's see here. Maybe I can find it through some of this nonsense. This is just gripping right here. Anyway, it's just I'm starting to see some stuff. I feel like I'm starting to see concepts be repeated, like not necessarily specific plot points or anything, but like just various concepts. Like this is the armor set from this lady, right? So it's got the gold helmet. This is the original Demon Souls, but here's like the helmet, and here's the armor, and then look at that, and then look at this. Like, it's not exactly the same, but like it's evocative of what's her face, whose name I can't remember.
Just call her Princess What's Her Name, and we'll go on. Like the Earthworm Jim character.
Yeah. I'll remember it as soon as we're done recording.
So to you all, we're just in the middle of another story.
Yeah. So I guess even looking at this, I'm going through here because every time I try to play a video, it breaks my computer. But like the armor sets that the guy is wearing in this trailer look like the default Dark Souls 2 armor in a little bit, like the way they've got the teal in them and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe what I need to see here is I need to see, like, this looks like one of the areas in Dark Souls 3 that was like this anyway, blah 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 blah. It's hard. What I maybe need to see is I need a gameplay demo to show me why this is different, because it could very well be different and it just looks a lot like Souls, or it could be using the iconography of Souls in order to tell a completely different type of story, and it's like a big fake out. But again, this trailer was it's very weird.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, I still think that character design, I think, is the one thing that sort of stands out, but even then,
yeah, I don't know. But we can't talk about that forever because we have even more. We got I called this so long ago, but
you did.
Hideo Kojima has announced there's going to be a Death Stranding director's cut for the PS5 that's going to have some more stuff. There was a short trailer that shows Norman Reedus. This is about as close as you get to Hideo Kojima going on Twitter and going, at Konami, go fuck yourself.
100%. Like, from beginning to end. Like,
yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this whole thing feels just like a Metal Gear sequence, even to the music.
Yep. So it's like Norman Reedus goes into this factory and he sees like a vent that's open that has a rat near it, and he takes down like a box and he empties a bunch of oranges out of it, and then he like gets inside of it, and then he just like puts it back on the shelf, and then that's the end of this 3-minute director's cut teaser.
It's such a weird teaser, but it's like, man, I'm gonna have to play Death Stranding again, aren't I?
Well, see, the thing that I'm hoping is that like is you get in here, you tell me if I'm wrong, okay? But like I think that the Hideo Kojima, I don't know so much about Substance, but like Subsistence, the 3 re-release, like had a whole different camera. It had a lot of stuff in it, and so
it was a lot of different. Yeah, the camera stuff, the movement was a lot different. Some of the controls were slightly better. The animations, I think, were a little better as well. I don't know about story-wise stuff, but there were a lot of like little extras. Like all the video stuff came in those, like the fake, not fake videos, but the funny video ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the one where Raiden goes back in time. The one where Sigurd is the hero instead of Snake.
Yep.
But I kind of want that to be here. I think it would be funny if there's a video where Guillermo del Toro is the hero instead of Norman Reedus. That'd be really funny to see.
Well, I'm wondering just what all is in here, because I know that I don't think you or I didn't do it because neither one of us played it on the PC, but like they added all that Cyberpunk 2077 stuff and that like hacking mechanic to the game. So I'm sure that's going to be in there. I'm wondering how much is going to be in here outside of just like, because the game already looked pretty goddamn good previously.
It looked gorgeous. He's as a director's cut, like it means like what crazy shit did he come up with that he just couldn't finish in time?
Yeah,
is what this game's going to be probably full of this time around.
Celine Vinland. That's the name of the Valkyrie lady.
Did you just remember right now?
I did.
I saw it coming.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't that far into the podcast.
No. So yeah, we got this really quick teaser, and then apparently the game is going to be coming to PS5 soon, and there's going to be a full reveal in a couple of weeks. So
that's cool.
There you go.
I don't mind more Kojima.
Yeah. I just hope that it's a free upgrade on the PlayStation, because I already own it.
God, I hope so.
I really don't want to buy Death Stranding again. And I'll just say right now that unless it's dramatically different, I don't think anybody should expect there to be a whole bunch of Rage Select videos revisiting Death Stranding, because like, or if we do that, we're going to have to jump like an hour into the game where you have the motorcycle. Like,
it would have to be a while into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's see. From there, we got here's a little something for all you foul mouthed babies. Tiny Tina's Wonderland got announced, which is apparently going to be like it's there was a thing here that Randy Pitchford said they've been working on this thing for like 5 or 6 years or something, or 10 years or something like this. So apparently there was a DLC in Borderlands 2 that was like kind of like a fake medieval fantasy thing but it was Tiny Tina was like running a Dungeons and Dragons game basically.
Yeah.
And this is like the version of that for the third one, and it's got Andy Samberg and Wanda Sykes and Will Arnett and a bunch of people in it. Yeah, I fucking hate Tiny Tina, so this is obviously not for me, but
no, it's fair. But it's like, I don't know, I haven't really been able to get into the series very much anymore, but this itself looks like it could be kind of fun because it's different enough from just actual Borderlands that I think it could be something differently fun.
This says it all to me, as the fact that they dramatically feature Butt Stallion as a character that's in this, and it's just like, guys, that was a joke from the beginning of Borderlands 2. Like, make new jokes. Don't just refer back to your old fucking jokes. Like,
We're still dealing with Randy Pitchford, dude. That's the thing.
Well, that's true. It's like you made Tiny Tina, so make another character. Or no, you don't want to. Okay,
we're lucky it doesn't have a card trick mechanic.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. This is, a lot of people like Borderlands 3. I'm not a big fan. But I'm sure that if you like Borderlands 3, you like the sense of humor, you like all that stuff, then Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is going to be a fun thing, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna dig it. You're gonna play it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be right up your alley. So Go you, whoever you are. Right up my alley, though, is not Among Us. No,
you liked it when we played it. It was good. It was fun.
that was pretty fun. So we got a roadmap for Among Us. There's going to be some new colors. There's going to be some cosmetics that go onto the face shields. There's going to be some new did I say colors already? There's new colors, new things. There's achievements. There's going to be another map. There's going to be like these roles that you can play. It looks like they're expanding Among Us. They're putting stuff in Among Us. So
some of those roles, some of them came from I think mods originally. Like I think there were mods because the sheriff one, a lot of streamers have been doing that mode. Mm-hmm. What it is that mode is that like it's a person who's allowed to kill people, but that he's not the bad guy. Like so he's there specifically to try to catch whoever's doing it and kill them on his own.
Interesting
kind of thing. So it's nice to see that it's actually in there. I don't know what the scientist does though. So, but I'm interested.
Yeah. So I mean, like if you're into Among Us, this seems like a good thing. Seems fine. I don't really know what more to say about it outside of like it looks like Among Us, but like there's a little bit more in there. Good reason to go back if you've fallen off, and if you're still playing it, should have enhanced your gaming experience. Have they? But I guess the question for me is, I was very surprised that Among Us didn't already have the voice comms feature built into the game. Do you know if they've added anything like that, or are people still just playing it on Discord and they're like voluntarily muting?
As far as I know, they're still doing it on Discord, but I haven't played any of the newer versions of it. Like if any of the console versions have anything like that,
like the Switch version.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I haven't checked on those.
Interesting. Let's see. In addition to that, we also got a trailer for Metal Slug Tactics.
Metal Slug.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like I love Metal Slug, but it's like, why a tactics game?
Well, you got to figure at some point that guys got tired of just making Metal Slug game after Metal Slug game. The weirdest thing, though, is because it's a tactics game, it's a 3/4 view. I've never seen these characters from anything but the side, and they look really strange. I mean, it looks appropriate. Like, the art style looks appropriate and everything, and they're using, like, the same font, and it all looks like it belongs in the Metal Slug universe. But it's just very strange to see these characters from anything but, like, a side view.
It's fascinating because of it. Like, everything is so Metal Slug in it still. Like, the music, the sound effects, the voices, even the sprite work looks very much like old school Metal Slug. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, like you said, it's all from, like, weird different directions that I'm just like, this just feels wrong. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm sure it's going to be fun, but it just feels really, really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Again, this is also the other thing with this is that as a concept, there is absolutely nothing wrong with a Metal Slug Tactics game. Every tactics game, I feel like you're going to know more in the execution. You're going to know more when you see it actually being played. So, what we have here is fine, and I loved all the little animations that went with it. But I would like to see more. So, yeah, count me interested. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. More for Matt than for either one of us. We found the announcement and trailer for Jurassic World Evolution 2, which had some hot Jeff Goldblum narration going on in it. I didn't know if this was if this was fresh narration or if this was just like taken from Jurassic World 2 or whatever.
No, I think it's fresher one because they got him for the first game, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. This looks like more Jurassic World Evolution. There's some kind of like nefarious implications from Jeff Goldblum's narration that what did we? I mean, was there a story to Jurassic World Evolution 1? And at the end, did the dinosaurs all get out? And then you had to it turned into an RTS game to try to get everybody off the island or something like that?
I don't know. That's the thing about this game. I'm amazed they're making a sequel to it at all. I didn't think enough people played the first one to warrant a sequel, but I guess so.
That's exactly the same way that I felt about Jurassic World 2. But I watched it like a dumbass too, so what does that say about me? Yeah, there's a new Jurassic World Evolution coming. In fact, I think it's coming out. Yeah, it's coming out this year. It's coming out 2021. So
yeah, I think that was the most surprising part of it.
Yep. All right, let's see. I think we're out of the E3, the pre-E3 trailer category, but now we're into the we got some. This was weird. We got announcements about in years past, companies would have their pressers. But this year, I feel like a lot of companies are just explaining exactly what's going to be at their press conference, which I think is kind of a bad move because part of E3 is watching a press conference and then getting let down because you wanted to see Bayonetta, and Nintendo just refuses to show any development progress on Bayonetta 3 just forever and ever. Anyway, Capcom has announced what they're going to be showing from their showcase, which is going to be happening Monday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, I think 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, 4:30 Eastern time.
Okay.
They're doing Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Resident Evil Village, and Great Ace Attorney Chronicles have been confirmed. I think there might be some other ooh, here's a special thing you didn't even know it was on the schedule, but that's
I'm surprised they're Power Stone fans.
I
feel bad for that joke. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, man, I'm a Bionic Commando fan. All right,
I am too, though.
Come on, guys.
They need to announce that Spencer no longer has dreads, and then I'll go back in.
Yeah. What about a new? Did the last Marvel vs. Capcom game just how did that crash so hard that did they
crashed really hard?
Did they even put out DLC for it? Were there DLC characters?
They did, but they dropped it so fast because a lot of times when DLC happens, it happens over the course of some time. They basically just walked out with the box, just threw it all on the ground, and they're there's your shit, and then walked off and then did nothing else.
Wow,
it happened so fast. The DLC came out within I think a 2-month time span. And then that was it. They did nothing with it ever again.
I feel like more people are excited about that throwaway fucking Power Rangers game than they are about the last Marvel vs. Capcom game.
Oh, they absolutely are, and it's kind of saying.
Yeah,
but they also it came out at the same time as Dragon Ball Fighters, and Fighters fucking annihilated that game.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't really know. It's kind of weird. I mean, Monster Hunter Rise is obviously their forever game that they're going to keep putting out post-game content for. Monster Hunter Stories 2 isn't even out yet, so there'll probably be another round of just hype and showing stuff off. Greatest Attorney Chronicles is coming out in July, so it's just going to be kind of pre-launch trailer. The one thing that I'm kind of interested in is if they're doing Village, if they're going to be doing story DLC for Village. I haven't finished Village, so I don't know if there's a possibility. Well, you know what? The story DLC for RE7, none of it was about Ethan, so they can do whatever they want to. They can make a Lady Dimitrescu standalone DLC where you play as her or whatever. But
that sounds kind of neat. But yeah, I'm sure there's some stuff they could probably do single player wise. I'm not sure what right away, either. Even though I beat the game, but yeah, like you said with 7, that had nothing to do with it. Oh, even the demo for 8 had nothing to do with Ethan. They could easily just do something like that again.
I want it to be Jack's brother from the swamp shows up with his fucking umbrella metal fists, and he starts punching werewolves, just punching werewolves like a backwoods critter smasher.
There's some good hunting in Europe, and that's where he went.
Mm-hmm.
He went on vacay
with
his magic gloves and started punching things.
Man, the guys I listened to on this podcast, they fucking hated that DLC so much because they were like, "Oh, it's so goofy," and I was like, "Are you kidding me? I had 8 hours of really serious RE7, and then all this fucking Chris Redfield bullshit, and then all this Saw bullshit, and this Misery bullshit, and then it was just redneck zombie punch, yeah, boy." So, we also found out that Warner Brothers came out. Okay. This story is amazing. This story is absolutely incredible. Warner Brothers came out and said that you will not be seeing Hogwarts Legacy, Gotham Knights, or Suicide Squad versus Justice League at their E3 2021 event. Now, I know what you're saying. What the fuck is left? And the answer is Back for Blood. The entire thing is going to be about Back for Blood. Yeah.
Those poor guys. It's going to be like that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry had to fill all that time because George couldn't do the thing or whatever.
Yeah. Which, apparently they're pushing that game really hard, but it's oh, you got. I mean, I know they got bought, right? There's probably some internal shakeup going on, blah 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 blah, right? But on the other hand, like Jesus, guys, how long have we been waiting for the next Rocksteady game? And are you honestly telling me that even after announcing it, we're still not seeing any of it? Like my feelings are hurt. You're hurting my feelings. Also, I'm sure there's a lot of people that were really excited for that Hogwarts Legacy game that would like to see more of it.
I'm sure a lot of people want to see more about Gotham Knights as well, because I can understand Suicide Squad not being there, because maybe that's still kind of early in development.
Yeah.
But Gotham Knights had a bunch of footage even during its announcement, so you think they would have had something for it now, but I guess not.
You would think a lot of things, but you would be wrong. We also found out that apparently Ubisoft put out a list of the stuff that they're going to be having there. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, not on there, not on the list.
That one kind of makes sense because people made fun of them really hard when that trailer came out.
They also pushed it back, so that's not a supreme surprise. The one that's a little bit more of a surprise to me is that they also said that the Division wouldn't be showing up. No Division.
That is interesting, actually. I guess they don't have anything to show for it right now.
No, they have that fucking Division Heartland. I just think they're going to be doing it that free-to-play game, but like they just, they put out this Twitter. Why, Michael? Why do people go on Twitter and then put a picture of text on Twitter? Twitter is for text. Like I guess it's a little longer, but just fucking like make it 3, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, right? Post it like regular Twitter.
Well, they need to have the images in it. They need to. That's what they're probably doing it for.
God, but yeah, apparently they're going to be doing another test for Division Heartland, which is going to be the free to play one. But apparently they're not going to be having any of their Division stuff, which is okay, sure. What are they going to have? You ask. You may ask. Well, apparently. It's not exactly but man, fuck Ubisoft.
This is just all Just Dance. Is that what it is?
So okay,
that's them, right? Just Dance.
Yes. So okay, their pre-show is going to have updates for For Honor, Trackmania, The Crew 2, Brawlhalla, and Watch Dogs Legion, and then the main show is going to have Rainbow Six Quarantine, Far Cry 6, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Rainbow Six Siege, Mythic Quest, their Werewolves Within movie, and some other surprises. Okay, so look, everybody knows I'm a hater and I suck balls, right? Michael, is any of that interesting to you? Does any of the things that I just rattled off, do you care about any of that? Like
Mythic Quest, I guess, because that's a nice show.
Okay, I started watching the second season and I was like, oh right, and I just turned it off because I got bored. They actually, though, they also put out a full trailer announcing the new name for Rainbow Six Extraction, which was previously Rainbow Six Quarantine, which the word quarantine now has a lot of loaded emotions behind it.
Well, you remember when they announced Rainbow Six Patriots, and then a lot of stuff happened with that name, and they're like, oh, I guess we can't make that game at all.
Yep. So Rainbow Six is now Extraction. This is the PvE thing. I gotta say, just like, I'm just deflated from you. Listen, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a game that they are making. Like, it's not made up, right? Like, it's not.
Oh yeah, I forgot that even got announced.
It's not me going, where's Splinter Cell, right? It's not me making stuff up. It's like they literally had a show, they literally showed footage, they had a trailer. And Beyond Good and Evil 2 isn't even my favorite thing. It's just like, it's different than like Rainbow Six, Assassin's Creed, like all these games that I've seen a million times before that I don't care about. Like anything. Oh no, wait. The other thing that's going to be at their main one is that esports roller derby game that you and I played.
Oh yeah, I forgot the name of it already, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But we also got a leak, Michael. So this is how we're going to finish up. We're going to finish off with a little hot Ubisoft gossip.
Okay.
So apparently there was some leakage that happened of a of a game codenamed BattleCat that they're making inside of Ubisoft.
Oh, jeez.
That appears to be a first-person shooter that combines elements of Splinter Cell, The Division, and Ghost Recon all into one universe. So basically, it's that phone game, but like a first-person shooter.
That's interesting.
No, it's not. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm curious is if they'll keep the same story they did.
Yeah.
That they accidentally did. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like, the idea of this, like, okay, they already put Sam Fisher as one of the characters in Rainbow Six Siege, right? Like,
oh yeah.
I like they already came out. You remember, like, I don't know, 2 months ago on the podcast, there was a thing that got leaked out where they were like, moving forward, we are going to do more like online free-to-play microtransaction games. Like, that's where our focus is going to be because the money.
They're French. You have to go ho ho at the end.
Oh ho ho, the money. But like, is this just seems like the money, right? Like, is there?
Yeah, that's absolutely what it is.
Like, they're throwing Sam Fisher in there because they've learned that if they put Sam Fisher in a thing, that people like me will look at it and probably I won't play it, but there's some people who will be like, I'm so hard up for Sam Fisher, man. I just don't even care. I don't care if it is Rainbow Six. His gun has the 3 dots on it as the sight, and it's like, that's not fucking Splinter Cell, man.
I get where they're coming from, because when they announced that Fortnite Superbad thing, I was like, for literally like a minute, I was like, well, maybe I could play Fortnite if I get to be Superbad. And my friend literally messaged me right after, and he's like, you better not be thinking about playing Fortnite because of Superbad. I'm like,
Yeah. So we don't know if this is a thing. This was leaked from a selection of images. I think it's real because there was a Twitter user named Zero Bytes published a selection of image showing off the game over the weekend. Ubisoft shut that shit down, and it's been pulled off the internet. So
I'm not surprised.
I'm pretty sure it's a real thing. This is probably they're like, and one more thing. And then they're going to show a trailer where it's like, look at all these different characters. Yeah, I'm not really I tried to search it on the Google image search. It didn't really come up with anything. But
it's because Google's probably blocking that shit.
Probably so.
Cease and desists.
But, you know.
A lot of pictures of BattleCat, though.
A lot of pictures of BattleCat. I wonder if this is.
Hey, man.
But, yeah, I couldn't. It just. I don't want to go out on that. I don't want to go out on a wet fart of a sigh. Where is Immortals Phoenix Rising 2? Where is Beyond Good and Evil 2? Where is a new Splinter Cell game? Splinter Cell Fuck You Tomorrow. Give me something that's not just a military shooter game or Assassin's Creed. Like, that's all I'm asking for.
What about a military shooter Assassin's Creed?
No. That's called The Division, Michael. I don't want to play The Division or Watch Dogs Legion, or take your pick. Like,
that's true. Yeah.
Last week we did a thing where it was like they're putting a zombies mode into Watch Dogs Legion. The franchise about hacking and like security and like cybernetic warfare and like data privacy. They're putting a zombies mode where you're just shooting zombies into the cyber hacking game about cyber hackers.
You know what's funny? I forgot that game came out entirely.
Jesus.
I like, my brain was like, when is that supposed to come out? I'm like, oh yeah, it did, and no one fucking talked about it again.
Yeah. Last year is when it came out. I got it for the fucking next gen systems, and Chris and I, we made Magna Magnets, the world's most lethal YouTube influencer, and let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at like some of the. I just want to go to Wikipedia, and I want to like look at a list of games. No, not games of service, just games. Just show me games. Nope. Okay. All right. Let's go all the way back up here. Push games. List of Ubisoft games. Sort by release date with that's 2007. Did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? February 1987. 1987. Woo. Woo.
Sigma 7.
Wow. Okay, so let's go down here. Let's see. This is not right. Wait. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles? Oh, for the Wii?
Mike, I don't think that's entirely right.
This starts. This ends at 2010. What?
Somebody's not updating this. That's
Wait. Oh, this is like this is okay. Here we go. List of Ubisoft games 2020 to present. No, I don't want it. I don't want that. I want to go back a little bit. I want to go back to like 2010 to 2019. Let's check that out. Okay. Let's see here. What do we want to see more of? Red Steel? Do we want to see Red Steel 3?
Yeah, I forgot about that series.
How about
man, actually Red Steel would not be a bad thing to revive right now. Because of VR.
How about Tom Clancy's Hawks 3? How about that? How about Shaun White Skateboarding 2? That's
skateboarding's coming back. People love that shit again.
Yeah. How about a Rabbids game? How about like a new Rabbids game?
How about a new Michael Jackson The Experience?
Oh, yeah. How about a new Rayman? How about a brand new Rayman game?
That would be kind of neat. Yeah.
Is there a new Rayman game?
Not that I know of. Not since that last one that came out on the 360, I think.
Here's say From Dust. Do you remember that? It was like a really weird God game. How about a new Call of Juarez game? You guys like making shooters, right? But
that would be kind of neat.
Crazy Call of Juarez. How about a new driver game? I hear that last one was like isn't the last one? It's like you're in a coma and you're like remembering stuff, and so you can jump between cars and do all kinds of dumb shit.
Yeah, I don't remember what the last driver game was.
Yeah. How about a new ABBA You Can Dance game? I don't know, man. Like, just can we get something that's not just like the same fucking things over and over again? Like new South Park, new.
New South Park would be pretty cool.
A new something. Anyway, that's it. That's it for part one. Not for the whole podcast. We're only halfway done. We have a whole other press conference that happened last week. Which press conference? You don't even know. There's so many press conferences. You don't even know which press conference happened last week, but you're about to find out as soon as we come back from this break. And Michael, before we went on break, I told everybody there was a secret press conference that nobody even watched. It wasn't really that secret, but nobody that I know would have watched it because last week, after we got done doing the 400th podcast with Jason, there was the Warhammer Skulls, which was a whole show devoted to nothing but Warhammer games that are coming out. Now,
that's weird.
I know what you're thinking. I know what you at home are thinking, and I might even know. Michael might even be thinking this. I don't know. I sent him this webpage, but I told him not to look at it. Is you might be thinking like, how many Warhammer games could there be? And the answer is just so fucking many. Just so fucking many. Just it keeps.
The answer might surprise you.
No. I mean, like, look at this. I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Like, there's just so much here. We're not even going to go over all this. I'm just going to hit this like point by point because like. Because not all of this is interesting. Vermintide 2 has some new stuff. That's all I'm going to say. I like this Warhammer 40K Darktide, which is basically like a Vermintide, but like in the 40K universe, where there's like a hive planet that's got a bunch of chaos in it, and so you're playing like a 4-person squad. Because I like Vermintide all right, I just don't like fighting the rat monsters. So, and this is being written by this who did they say? This Dan Abnett, who's been like writing Warhammer books for 20 years. So, like, oh, okay, all right, I'm kind of interested in that.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it says he also is best-selling comic and novel writer across Warhammer, Marvel, and some other big franchises. So,
look him up.
Warhammer 40K Lost Crusade is a phone game. There's some new stuff happening in that phone game.
That's fun, I guess.
Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormground is that game that I told you when we were playing Necromunda, where I was like, did you know there was like another Warhammer game that launched like 2 days ago? And you were like, no. And I'm like, well, here it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Age of Sigmar Stormground. It's like a roguelike kind of, it looks like one of those phone games where you put together like a group of dudes and then you put them into like auto combat. That's got some stuff. There's some stuff there. Necromunda Hired Gun has some special skins for your Skulls event that you can get. Some super special skins. Blood Bowl 3 is the thing. There's a third Blood Bowl game that's happening. Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soul Arena had a gameplay announcement. This is like a tactics game that you do. Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soul Arena, Michael, Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soul Arena is an auto battler game. What is it? The Dota auto chess, right? This is a Warhammer auto chess game. So that's a thing. Also, that's happening. Warhammer Quest Silver Tower Shadows over Hammerall is an expansion to this tactics game that's being optimized for the PC. Warhammer 40K Shoota's Blood Teeth world premiere. This is from the people who made Guns, Gore, and Cannoli. It is a 2D side-scrolling action game where you play as an orc that is shooting guys in like a very cartoony environment that looks like that Guns, Gore, and Cannoli's game.
Okay.
That happened. Talisman Digital Edition is like a card/miniatures game that they're doing a cyber version of. Warhammer Chaos and Conquest. I don't know what it is because this is the part of where I got tired of reading about Warhammer and stopped reading. There's Warhammer 40K Mechanicus. There's a new weapon and free play days. The Horus Heresy Legions has a new warlord. Space Hulk Tactics has some new Gene Stealer skins. Warhammer 40K Inquisitor has a Skulls in-game event. Warhammer Combat Cards is coming to the PC. World of Tanks has Space Marine tanks in it. And World of Warships has 40K Chaos and Imperium skins for the ships in the World of Warships. That's it. That's what happened. If you want more,
That's neat, I guess.
You can go look at it. This is what happens when you don't when you just like, hey man, do you want to make a Warhammer game? Just fucking make a Warhammer game. Right? Give us like, I don't know, $10, like $20, whatever.
Just make whatever you want. Just, I don't care. It don't matter. None of this matters.
Yeah, give us 20%. I don't even give a shit.
I looked up Dan Abnett because I was curious what he did.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a lot of shit apparently. He did a bunch of Doctor Who comics. He made the Superman monster Elseworlds, which is that Frankenstein Superman story or whatever. He did a lot of weird stuff.
I don't even know. Right. A lot of this stuff is going to be on the Xbox. We have some more Xbox news. Microsoft. So last week, we didn't really touch on this all that much, but AMD announced that they have this thing called Fidelity FX Super Resolution, which is essentially AMD's version of the DLSS super sampling tech that NVIDIA is running. But the difference is that DLSS runs on dedicated tensor cores in the GeForce cards. The AMD super sampling tech runs on like anything. So apparently you can have a situation where you have like a Ryzen processor in your system that can run this super sampling tech on top of like having a GeForce card with a Ryzen processor. But the interesting thing here is that because Xboxes have AMD tech in them, it's possible that the Series X will be able to use this Fidelity FX Super Resolution tech for console games on an Xbox, which is fucking weird, man.
That's interesting.
Michael, I feel like we're entering a new phase. Like, up until now, the entirety of all of video games has been like this hardware arms race, right? Like, who's got the better processors? Who's got more RAM? Who's got the MIPS? You got to have all the MIPS. But now, I feel like we could be getting into a situation where it's like, hey, did you guys hear that AMD put out a new update, and so the AI in their super sampler tech is better than the dedicated tensor cores of the GeForce tech? The AI, like the smarter, like the Skynet on AMD's processor is better than like the Shodan on the GeForce processors. And so like it's not even a hardware race. It's like, how smart is the algorithm that predictively puts pixels on your screen, as opposed to who has the raw power to make the pixels go on the screen. Like, this is a weird future. This is how we get. This is how the machines rise up. This is what happens. This is how you get a rise of machines. Gamers want too high resolution of graphics, and then suddenly I've got to lead the resistance to take back mankind.
I can see it. It's funny because I can see the idea that the machines lost its shit more because they were part of Xboxes than it was them being military related.
They had to eventually. They started using the AI tech to like filter out Xbox Live messages, and they all got real mean in a hurry.
It's like you're like in Transformers 1. They're like, "How'd you learn how to speak English or whatever?" It's like the internet. It's just like, yeah, it's the same thing, but like this way with the gaming chat. So when the robot apocalypse happens, it's going to be a lot of them saying, "I fucked your mom" while shooting you.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be real bad. It's gonna be real bad, you guys. I'm glad that I'll die before that happens. I'm old already, so leave me the young. Go fight it. Like when you have to fight like an actual robot that's powered by like the AI that has absorbed Twitter. I weep for all of you. I weep for all of you youngs. Is you guys are gonna have the hardest fight of all, because it's gonna have.
It's not Tumblr at its peak.
Oh man, yeah.
All the yipping.
Oh
whatever.
God, yeah. Can you imagine that, like in the future, if like the different robot apocalypse, like there's a bunch of factions of different killer robots, and they're all powered by like which internet app they absorb to gain sentience, and it's like you can be fighting Twitter, you can be fighting Instagram, but it's like, oh my God, is that? It's like, I've only heard the stories. Run! It's Pornhub. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
No.
Okay, so we also got another Xbox. We got another Xbox story, which is really interesting, and that is that Xbox is fucking rocking it, man. They're rocking it so goddamn hard. Okay, so they are coming to a place. Microsoft has the xCloud. xCloud is streaming like Stadia. Microsoft is trying to get xCloud software into like the TV software. Just like, when you hit a button and it goes to Netflix, well, like you hit a button, it goes to xCloud. Log into your xCloud, connect a controller, run the xCloud streaming on your TV with no hardware. No hardware at all. Like,
well, they just walked up to fucking Stadia and put their dick on the table.
Yep, they're even talking about making kind of like Stadia. They're talking about making streaming sticks, right? Like just something with enough processing power to basically run the stream up and down to the data center, and then like boom. The only thing is, I don't understand how you connect a controller to like a TV, right? I guess you could connect like some TVs have Bluetooth in them, so I guess if it has Bluetooth, but
some TVs have Bluetooth, and a lot of them nowadays have USB ports.
Oh, okay.
You just have to figure out how to get the USB port to read something like that. Because my TV has two USB ports on the side of it, which could be used to watch stuff off of like a hard drive or something. So I could see somebody talking to a TV manufacturer to be like, "Hey, we want you to be able to like connect controllers to this thing," and then just have to work from there.
It's interesting where if we are indeed heading towards a future where you don't have a console anymore, where you're just running stuff off of a data center, Microsoft is really putting themselves in a position to leverage this. Like, again, I haven't even looked at PlayStation Now to see if it's any good at this point. Like,
I haven't touched it since the last time, and that was when my internet wasn't even as good as it is now.
Yeah, I mean, Stadia is all right. I bought one of those Amazon Lunas, the controller for the Luna, and I never even tried it because they wanted me to pay for stuff, and I was like, okay, fuck you.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, there's some really interesting implications here about like if they finally get their shit together between like 5G. High-speed internet, like high-speed wireless, so you don't have to make it all wired, like being able to play a game Well, I think it'd be really interesting if they were able to streamline it a little bit, so you could just like tap like put this on my TV, and then just like go from playing your game on your TV to playing it on your phone to playing it on, you know, the PC to playing it, you know, anywhere. It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool to be able to do that all over the place. Yeah. In other gaming phone news, the Injustice game on the phone had a little bit of a dust up last week.
Yeah, so this one I saw like happen in real time kind of thing, because somebody posted about it, and I was like, oh my god, that's such a bad idea.
Yeah, so it's Pride Month, and Injustice has a thing where they'll have specific characters, and you'll get bonuses from defeating certain characters in certain months on the Injustice 2 phone game. And they decided for Pride Month that they would have Poison Ivy as the character that you beat up. And I didn't even really know this, but apparently Poison Ivy is now bi, or she's what, Harley Quinn, or she's not just straight anymore. And so having a not straight character as the person that millions of people are like, yeah, go beat her up, everybody, it's Pride Month, do it. And everybody's like,
I was just like, yeah, just completely fuck her up like as hard as you can kind of thing. And it was just like, oh guys, no, don't.
Yeah, maybe no. So they took that out. They took that down and apologized, which is probably for the best.
I picture the redneck that's really in Injustice 2 being like, yeah, beat up the queer.
Oh man,
get the rewards. It's just like,
yeah,
it's a bad time. It was just a really bad. I think it was a really bad idea.
Yeah. Just don't do it. Just you leave it alone, Warner Brothers. Just fucking like, if it was just an event that was like, okay, this month's Poison Ivy, like last month it was fucking Bane, right? And like next month it's the Red Hood, and it would be fine. But if it's just like Pride Month, beat up Poison Ivy, and everybody's like, wait, hold on, did you think this through?
It's like, yeah, that doesn't add up. Like, just no, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, so no good. Another
bad time. At least it wasn't like, you know, beat up her and Harley and like every queer character you could get or something. Yeah, that would have been a little much worse.
Yeah, no good. Let's see. Another bad news. Roblox is being sued by music publishers for $200 million.
This one was just a matter of time, to be honest.
I am 100% on Roblox side because I think that the music industry is a full and complete trash fire, and they can all go fuck themselves. They've been fucking everybody, like the artists and the consumers and everybody that's not them from the moment. I like to bring this up, and you probably already know this, and people at home probably already know this, but I want to just remind everybody that there was a whole thing where the music industry got a piece of every blank CD that was sold, like in the 90s and early 2000s. They got a piece of the money that came in for every blank CD that was sold, because they were like, well, people are going to use them to pirate the music, so you got to give us a piece of every blank CD because you're enabling people to pirate our music. And it's like, you go fuck yourself. You full on go fuck yourself with that horse shit.
Yeah, the music industry is like, they're very reactionary.
Yeah.
That's what the reason, you know, Napster got fucking exploded as hard as it did. But like people like have now looked back on that event, and they're like, you could have easily monetized that so fast, and it would have made way more money than you ever would have made with what it ended up doing. Like, it's one of those things, like there's like a list of like fuck ups in the music industry. Like, one of them is that guy who turned down the Beatles. That's that guy.
Yeah.
It's pretty high up there. The other one is, you know, the destruction of Napster without just looking at, like, stepping back and being like, how can we monetize this? Because everybody's already here, and they would have made so much fucking money if they did that.
Well, it was called the fucking iTunes Music Store. Like, and it destroyed the music industry as we know it. So for anybody who doesn't know, Roblox, I didn't really know this, but Roblox is apparently more of like a creation tool, and then you like make your little games, you can give them to your friends and whatnot. Like, it's not just like a Minecraft or something. Like, you can literally use it.
A lot of weird shit with it.
Yeah. And one of the things apparently that you can do is upload assets. And so people will upload songs for their game, and they just put whatever they want on there. Yeah. I like this quote from David Israelite, who says hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, that Roblox is quote making quote hundreds of millions of dollars by requiring users to pay every time they upload music onto the platform, taking advantage of young people's lack of understanding about copyright, and then they take virtually no action to prevent repeat infringement or alert users to the risks they are taking. Eat my shit. Like, you don't get to just. Ugh, I hate this attitude. Like, it's the end is in sight, right? Like, we're heading in that direction, and you guys are holding us shit up by holding on by your fingernails. Do you know that when they first started, like, television, when television first happened, that like there was a whole I think it was like the Screen Actors Guild, or like a bunch of the actors were like, well, we are going to do this live. We're going to perform this show live, and you can't record it. If you record a show and then show it again, actors will be put completely out of business. They'll just record it one time, and then they'll show it forever, and they won't pay us every time to do it, and the art will suffer, and actors will make no money, and they'll all starve to death in the streets. And it's like, no, you're just fucking greedy. That's what's going on here. You're just fucking greedy. Oh, I hate this shit. Oh.
And the thing is, like, I read an article about Roblox's music, because apparently this stuff is also like empowered a lot of musicians, because a lot of people who made like music and they were very like low key, like no one knew who they were.
Yeah,
they're getting discovered a lot because of the people uploading their music to Roblox.
Sure,
like a bunch of them, like in fact, got like huge surges in people buying their stuff because of it. And the way the Roblox works apparently is there's actually is something within the system that's supposed to be like, look, this is a copyrighted song. You're not supposed to do this, but PC gamers do what PC gamers do, and they fucking work around that shit.
Sure.
And that's the reason so many copyrighted songs are on there, because they're like, well, all you have to do is do this specific thing with the file that then confuses the thing that they've created, and then it's just going to upload it anyways. It's like, this isn't on Roblox at all. Like, these people have found the way around it, kind of thing. And like, maybe Roblox, is just like looking the other way kind of thing. That could be argued, but no, they're trying. It's just that people will go around shit way easier than you can fix it.
Yep, 100%. So I'm on your side, Roblox. Go kids, upload all the music. Take it from them. I mean, like, give Ariana Grande, like, let her set up a Patreon or whatever. Like, I don't give a shit, but
more donuts to lick or whatever the fuck she's into.
Right? Yeah, whatever it is she's into. You like Ariana Grande? Give her. I mean, like, I think that we reached a point in 2021 where it's like, if you're into an artist, if you're into, I mean, for fuck's sake, Michael, I make a living doing what we're doing right now on the internet. If I can do it, fucking Ariana Grande is not going to starve to death in the street. Imagine Dragons is not going to like go out of business. I don't even know how many of the are there a lot of dragons or a few dragons? Is it one dragon? I don't know.
I keep forgetting they're a real band.
Yeah. Like, one of the people listed in here is the Rolling Stones. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
They have enough money. Their music should be public domain. You guys have just fucked up the copyright laws so much. So go to hell. I shed no tears for you. National Music Publishers Association. Boo. Speaking of lawsuits, did you read this story?
I did. This one was fascinating.
This is fascinating. So, guys, there is a designer. Her name is Judy A. Jurassic. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. She is like a photographer, and she would put out this book called Surfaces. And Surfaces was a book, and it had a bunch of basically like pictures of, like various surfaces, like a broken window or like a concrete or like a texture of some sort. And when she put this out, she actually put out, this was in 1996, and she said the collection came with a CD-ROM that had the images on it. And that, over the years, people have asked her to use those images, and she's licensed them out because, she fucking took the pictures. The pictures belong to her. There's the fucking copyright law, right? It turns out, it seems like Capcom just has been ripping. I'm sure that this is like somebody in the Capcom art department has this CD and is using it seems like they're using these images like in a way without any attribution to, like, okay, and the Resident Evil 4 logo, like if you take the 4, it kind of looks like brushed metal, but then there's like a kind of a distressed element at the top. And if you take that distressed element, you can map it directly onto one of the pictures that this lady took from the book. Like if you put that picture over this in Photoshop and you masked it so that it was only over the 4 and you set the blending mode to like screen or something, this is what you would end up with, is what's on the RE4 logo. There's another example in here. She wrote a whole thing. I didn't go through the whole thing of like, you know, just little textures in places where you can see like what looks like just an imperfection. But then if you line that up with a picture from her book, it's exactly the fucking same. Like,
it's fucking crazy. Like it's one of those things where somebody probably doesn't understand how these things work.
Yeah.
Because like they probably bought the CD-ROM or like for all we know, they got it from like a fucking thrift store kind of thing, and has just used it forever and ever, not really realizing that there's somebody who made these things.
Yeah.
They probably thought of it like, you know, what are those images, those open domain ones they're called? I forgot what they're called anymore. But stock photos, I guess, would be a good way of putting it.
Sure. I mean, well, there's
even then you have to license a lot of those anyways.
Yeah, I mean, normally, royalty-free images when you don't have to license, but traditionally speaking, I mean, like, there was a whole thing that came out in Mass Effect, right? That the tally was just a stock photo that they bought, and then they photoshopped the stock photo, and they didn't even do that much work on it. But, like, one of the things in this lawsuit says that one of the metal texture files even has it's named the same name as that picture file is on her CD-ROM. Part of this comes from that big data leak that happened, but like,
oh, seriously?
Yeah. But they could see like here's a little picture of like a goat head that was part of like a side of a wall, and then like here it is in the Resident Evil remake game as part of like a book. So it's interesting. She's suing them for $12 million in damages, and apparently there's also another part of the lawsuit where there's this movie for this Dutch filmmaker called Richard.
Oh, did you not hear about this one?
No, Rapfost.
So there's an enemy type later on in the game, because I don't think you guys have gotten to that point in your playthrough, where there's a specific. I don't want to even say what the enemy looks like because it's kind of a surprise, but that looks a lot like a thing from that guy's fucking movie. And even some of the enemy types, some people are pointing up similarities, but they're not. Like, but I think only this one specific enemy like looks exactly the same. He's not suing anybody, but he's like, that guy's like more disappointed that he's not being like, you know, like credited or anything.
Sure.
But she's using that as like ammo to be like, look, Capcom is just a bunch of dumb motherfuckers who will just copyright steal shit kind of thing.
I mean, we've seen a lot, you see that all the time in the advertising industry, right? Somebody sees like a viral, like an interesting animation that somebody made online, and then they just fucking rip that shit off.
It's very rare when they'll actually like, you know, hire those people. Like, it happens, but it's incredibly rare when it.
Yeah.
Like, that'll happen. Like, I don't remember what it was recently where I saw something where they're like, yeah, this person just outright took my image and they used it for. Actually, it was the Vatican. The Vatican did that. They took it was a graffiti image, and they took it on. They put it on a stamp. the person who made it was like, hey, that's my shit, kind of thing, and they were suing the Vatican for that because they'll just look at something, they'll be like, oh, that's public or whatever, and then just don't think anything about it.
Yep. I mean, I sympathize a little bit with Capcom as somebody who has, like, you know, when I was making the intros, right, for Rage Select or custom thumbnails or something, you know, I'll go to Google image search. I'll search for, like, you know, there was like, I'm sure that I try to use the images like for the thumbnails that are from the place, right? But like, you know, we had intros where I'm like walking around and there's a background, and I guarantee you I went onto Google image search and was like side of the road and like found a picture and then blew it up and put a blur on it, like boom, it's right there. But I wasn't fucking selling Rage Select intros for $60 a piece. So
that's the main difference with a lot of these things, because people do that stuff all the time, but once you actually make it part of, you know, your actual product that you're selling to people, then that's clearly a big no-no. Like, nobody cares about the jank ass bullshit that I'm putting together, but like, you know,
it's another thing to use somebody's art in the logo for Resident Evil 4. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, guys. Like, damn.
Yeah.
It's damning. And
Yeah.
there's apparently a lot more. Like, she has a whole bunch of images.
Yeah.
That are like, because this is just like, what, 3 of them?
Yes.
But, like, it mentions that she has like even more, way more games.
Like
than
hundreds.
She points out.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's really interesting. I recommend anybody that's interested to go check it out and, try to use attribute your things. I think that there's been like 1 or 2 times, Michael, where I had music that was, because I used to use sound effects from this website for Rage Select intros.
Okay.
And I would always pick the royalty-free 0 attribution necessary, but there were a few times where like there was music, and I would a lot of times use music from like the Google or from YouTube has like a set of royalty free music, but then there's also like sometimes I'd find the perfect piece of music and it would be attribution. So I think there's like 2 videos on Rage Select where if you actually go into the YouTube description, I give attribution to the person that made the music because it's licensed under attribution only. But yeah, gotta attribute the stuff. Let's see. We're gonna go a little bit faster here. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna cut out. No, I'm not gonna cut that out. I'm gonna leave this in. EA is the latest person to be hacked. Apparently, no user data was pulled, but hackers got 780 gigs worth of data out of them, including the SDKs for FIFA 21, 22, like the entire Frostbite engine.
Oh my God.
Just a whole shitload of stuff.
I can imagine them coming back and giving them back FIFA. Like, this thing's broken. We don't need this anymore.
Are you kidding me? They're going to start manufacturing those fucking team play cards and selling them on the dark web. Yeah. This is
Elmo card.
This just happened, so we don't really have anything. I mean, EA is looking into it, but we'll see what happens. Like, a lot of times it takes a little while for this stuff to percolate, and if there's anything to come of it, we'll find out. I gotta imagine this probably makes EA sweat a little bit, because if they got like internal emails and stuff, like, EA is not exactly the most subtle organization when it comes to referring to like their strategies and stuff. So CDPR also got some hack news. Apparently, I haven't really looked into these specifically, but apparently part of the big CDPR hack has finally been made public in a lot of places. And apparently the developers at CD Projekt Red were making like internal bug reels of the bugs in Cyberpunk 2077. That was part of what was pulled when they pulled this leak. They're not like exactly the same thing, but apparently they fall into pretty similar categories, like weird character model stuff and glitching out in the environment and stuff. It's not it's not a 1-to-1, but it just shows that like they knew when they knew they were
exactly what was happening.
This wasn't a surprise. They were putting out a broken product when it came out. So
that's kind of amazing. God damn.
It's such a mess, man. How do they go from like, it's just amazing how much of a mess it was. It's possible, that everything that The Witcher 3 was like a huge ass mess that just kind of turned around and they got a handle on it. But like, yeah, this thing is just such a fucking mess. So
I think part of it's the fact that even when The Witcher 3 came out, there wasn't that many. I didn't know that many people who were into Witcher 1 and 2.
Yeah,
when that came out. But Cyberpunk 2077 was like everyone's eyes were on it. So yeah.
Yep. Also, it should be noted, I take this with a little bit of grain of salt from this Kotaku headline, but like CD Projekt Red today, Thursday, the 10th, the day that we're recording this, they put out an update about their hack, like right in the middle of the Summer Games Expo show. Now, whether that was intentional so that like it didn't get seen as much as if they just put it out like on when nothing else big was happening, who knows? And it's basically just an update acknowledging that the security breach happened and that they're like working with law enforcement to try to figure out what happened, and that they don't know the exact contents of what was leaked, but they don't believe any of the customer data was leaked. Yeah. I don't know if this is quite as nefarious as this headline made it out to be, but
I don't think it's nefarious, but it definitely is there definitely was a plan
Yeah.
in that time frame. But
Yeah.
it's purely just to be like throw it out there and hope no one notices.
I like the idea of like a social media manager with their finger over the tweet button and like they're watching the Summer Games Expo and it's like, and one last thing, here's the trailer for Elden Ring, and it's like, okay, now nobody's looking at Twitter and they're gonna explode with Elden Ring as soon as this comes out.
That actually might have been what they did. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. We got some more trailers, even more trailers from the game show. This is a really weird one. I don't think this one was directly related. This actually came out last week, but they're making a Vertigo game based on Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo.
Fascinating. I love Vertigo. Vertigo is my favorite Hitchcock film, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like, I would love to have been Jimmy Stewart, but I don't see Jimmy Stewart anywhere in this fucking trailer.
No, it's like a weird spin-off thing that's like going to be just kind of an investigative, I don't know, it's like I don't know what, like Layers of Fear or something, but the trailer has all the kind of iconography of the big spirals from Vertigo in it. Yeah. It's really weird. Do I know who's making this? Let's see if we can figure out who's making this. That was Pendulo Studios, and this is actually previously announced, but yeah, it's kind of a weird one, kind of a strange one. Well, it looks like they've done. Oh, they did that Runaway game, the like adventure game, and Hidden Runaway yesterday. Or they did that Black Sad game that I think. Did I play that with you or with Amanda?
You played that with Amanda because you showed it to me, but I never played it.
Yeah. So yeah, that would probably be a good choice for that, considering, man, that Runaway game is so old. I forgot. It was like 2001 Runaway Road Adventure. I remember when that game came out and it just like looked so good at the time, but yeah. Let's see. We got a trailer for 2 Point Campus, which Microsoft leaked like last week, I believe.
Okay.
They listed it. This is like the campus version of 2 Point Hospital. I think this looks really fun. It kind of occurred to me that like 2 Point Hospital is about like managing a hospital, which is traditionally like a big building, and a college is like a collection of smaller buildings. So you're gonna have a bunch of different buildings like dorms and classrooms. I like the vibe. I like the kind of crazy vibe in this trailer. It looks pretty fun. I like the guy teaching a class full of knights in shining armor.
Yeah.
Like the home ec class with a gigantic pizza and stuff like that. I don't know. 2 Point Hospital was really, really fun. This looks great. I can't wait to play it. Michael, we got a trailer for the Evil Dead game.
Yeah.
That I'm sure you have a lot of weirdly mixed feelings about.
I absolutely have a lot of weird mixed feelings because it's like, look, I love the idea of an Evil Dead game, but I don't know enough people, I think, to play this game.
To play a 4-player asynchronous multiplayer, because it seems like in this trailer, I knew there was going to be a 4-player Left 4 Dead style game, but I didn't know that you're going to have another person playing as like. It has a name, right? The big camera that zooms through the forest.
Something demon, I think, is what it says. I forgot the name, the actual name of it. Yeah, but it says it in the trailer, but I can't remember what it says.
Yeah,
but it's like, which I think is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, but it's one of those games where it's like, hey, you want to play all the characters you don't really care that much about? I'm like, everyone's gonna fight over who wants to be Ash.
Right. I like the part where they were, because also Bruce Campbell did like the voiceover for this. Everybody's like, visit iconic areas, and it's like the house from the Evil Dead and like the shed behind the house from the Evil Dead. Like there's a whole Ash versus the Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, like there's a lot of different places that you could be going to.
It's like, what about the forest? The forest that's also there. It's like, fuck, guys. But there might be I'm sure there's different locations in the actual like game itself. But man, I'm excited. I want to be super excited about this because I like the Evil Dead a lot. I like every Evil Dead game that's ever come out, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the one time where I'm like, this could go either way, kind of thing. But I don't know. I want to play it, but it might not be. It's like that Predator game. It's like I like the idea, but I don't see myself being able to do it very well.
Yeah,
I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's just like like I was saying, I was playing Chivalry today, and that was fun, right? But like, I don't know how long. I'm not going to keep playing Chivalry for the next year because I'm a gaming omnivore and I want to play. Ratchet and Clank is out. I'm going to play Ratchet and Clank. And if Ratchet and Clank wasn't Ratchet and Clank, it would be Ninja Gaiden or Guilty Gear Strive or any of those other games that came out today. Like, it just keeping my interest in a game where you do the same thing over and over again with slightly different results is difficult. So let's see. From there, we got a vampire. I think as confused as you were about the Evil Dead 4-player online multiplayer game, we got a trailer for Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt, which appears to be an online 4-player multiplayer Vampire the Masquerade.
Man, fucking everyone wants to make one of these things now.
Action game. I don't really know what to say because Vampire the Masquerade has never really like clicked for me. I'm not a big vampire guy. And I'm especially not a real big 4-player online multiplayer kind of guy, so I don't really know.
Sure, I guess that's just I don't know. Yeah, it's like I don't know why they keep making these kind of weird ideas, but it's I don't know.
I do. I know why they do it because they put them out for like $30 and then only like a few people buy them, but then they have microtransaction stores and the people that really like the game end up pumping in like way more than $30. So instead of making a $60 game that only like a few people will buy, you make it a low price and then you put in all the fucking microtransactions and people just buy the shit out of it. I think that in a lot of ways, Michael, I think that people like you and I I know that you've engaged a little bit in microtransactions, and I know that a lot of the listeners of Rage Select probably don't engage a lot of microtransactions, but there are some people that fucking hardcore engage with microtransactions.
Yeah,
you know,
the whales as they're called.
Yeah, like buy a $30 game and then put $300 worth of additional cash into it, and so that's
I've heard
like
of some ridiculous ones where it's like $1,500. I think is somebody put into like it's a lot of times it involves mobile games, but they'll put like thousands into it.
Yep. Well, there was that one thing where that lady, like a kid, right, got access to the microtransaction store in like FIFA, and they wanted their favorite guy, and they were like, "Mom, can I do this thing?" And then it's like, "Oh, I got a bill for $2,000 from Xbox for like this kid just kept buying packs and kept opening them." So, we got a trailer for Salt and Sacrifice, which appears to be kind of a spiritual successor to Salt and Sanctuary, which was that weird 2D Dark Souls style game by the people that made Dishwasher Smile and what was the other one that they made? Anyway, that Salt and Sanctuary, I waited for a long time for it to come out, and then when it came out, it was fine. It was okay. This looks a little okay. I think that this kind of art style, because I know for a fact I met them at one of the Austin game shows, is a husband and wife team.
Okay.
And I think that this game style of the kind of like 2D puppet style animation, it's kind of looks a little old at this point. Like it looks a little jankier than it used to. So I don't know. This didn't impress me very much. I mean, maybe I'll give it a try and see how it's going. But like that game, the Salt Sanctuary didn't really impress me. Salt and Sacrifice, it's got the same like name Salt from the Salt and Sanctuary. I don't know. Does this do anything for you? Anything at all?
Not really. I didn't really like the first one either. So
yeah. I was strangely. Did you watch this Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance gameplay explainer trailer?
I did not.
Okay. I thought about maybe like, okay, it basically goes through all the mechanics of that Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance game, which I think is coming out in like 2 weeks or whatever. But the interesting thing about it, Michael, is that the whole thing is narrated by Jermaine Clement. And,
oh my God, really?
And he's being a funny guy. Well, he talks about it. He's like, most of these guys have have slightly more moves than me. They have 50 moves. I have 49 and a half. Don't ask. I use them all the time. Like he's just making a bunch of jokes. And as near as I could tell, like I did a search for Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance Jermaine Clement to be like, is he a voice in the game or something? And all I could find were references to this trailer. So for all we know, I think it's possible they might have just been like, hey, Jermaine Clement, will you do this trailer voiceover for us? And he's like, sure, I've got 5 minutes. And they're like, okay, here's like $100 or something, or whatever.
That's fascinating.
It looks pretty good though. I mean, like it's definitely a third-person action game as opposed to the previous one, the kind of like top-down versions of the old Dark Alliance. But it looks pretty good. It's not even in Forgotten Realms. I think it's in Icewind Dale, which was weird to me because Drizzt is in here, and I thought that Drizzt was a Forgotten Realms guy, but maybe he goes to the different realms.
He's on vacation.
Yeah, maybe so. It's a good rundown, and like it's a better rundown than most because you get to listen to Jermaine Clement be a funny guy for 5 minutes. So, go watch that. Did you watch this trailer for Guilty Gear Strive?
I did.
This is a story okay, there appears to be a full-on story mode in Guilty Gear Strive, like cutscenes and shit, and like dialogue and like plot points and like environments and like double crossing and all kinds of stuff. Like,
yeah, Guilty Gear's a weird one where like it actually tries to be like a lot of plots. Like it's funny because I don't remember which Guilty Gear it was, but it had a story mode.
Mm-hmm.
But the story mode didn't have any fights in it. It was just a bunch of cutscenes. Like it was literally you could just watch the entire story, and it was just like that's weird as fuck.
Yeah,
I remember specifically my friend he had bought it and he was like, "Dude, check this fucking thing out." I was like, "What is this?" He's like, "It's the story mode." I'm like, "Well, when do you fight?" He's like, "You don't." I was like, "Are you serious?"
Well, we're gonna find out. I mean, Guilty Gear Strive is out. It looks great. I mean, like, I want to love Guilty Gear more. I actually read another story. I didn't put it in our list, Michael, that said that like the tutorial for Guilty Gear Strive is the most accessible and comprehensive fighting game tutorial that's ever been made in the history of all fighting games. And I'm like,
oh my god,
great, because Guilty Gear is hard to get, and like I forget it. Like I know how to play Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. Don't argue with me, internet. I didn't say well. I just said I know how to play them. But like Guilty Gear, like King of Fighters, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, I need a refresher. Like there's a lot of mechanics in those games.
Oh, 100%. The first time I ever played Guilty Gear, because like you can pick up Street Fighter in any game that kind of uses that same control scheme. I could not do it for Guilty Gear.
Yeah,
it just was impossible. I had no idea what it's doing. Like I was fighting my friend. I'm like, "How do I do a super?" And he's like, "Well," and then he started explaining it. I immediately was lost. I was like, "I don't know what the fuck you're saying. This is all like, can I just do a quarter circle or whatever?" He's like, "No, you gotta do the super complicated thing." I was like, "I'm done. I can't do this right now."
Is it? I don't think any of them are as bad as the Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
Oh shit! Yeah, that thing is nuts. That game's fun, but fuck, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah. What was that one that you and I played that had like the little Catboy Bros in it that was like super fucking fun?
I don't remember the name, but we had a lot of fun with it.
It's so much fun.
It was.
It's so much fun.
That game was great.
Yeah.
Was it a Patreon video? I can't remember.
I don't know. Here, let's look it up. Well, Arc System Works, because they have it was an Arc System Works craps out a bunch of games that like nobody even knows that they've made. Like,
yeah,
we did a Patreon video. I did a Patreon video with Chris for. Did they do fucking Moonwalker? What? Why is developers? Was that like before they became Arc System Works?
That might have been what it was.
Holy shit. Contra Hardcore is like a Arc System Works game. So let's see. Was it Grand Blue Fantasy Versus? I think it was Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
Because
it came out fairly recently.
Yeah, it was last year, I think. It was super fun. It was super goddamn fun.
We had a lot of fun with that. That game, we were laughing our asses off.
Yeah,
at the way that game worked, but it was so much goddamn fun.
Because
they constantly make games, and it's like, how do you guys keep making these as well as you do? There's some though that we didn't like. What was that one with the people making the game or whatever?
Oh, Code Shifter. Yeah,
Code Shifter.
That came out last year as well. Yeah,
that one was mad as hell.
I never played this. We need to do a Patreon video for this one. The Stay Cool Kobayashi-san, where you play as the bad guy in River City Ransom, and it's like an RPG.
Aliens or something like that.
Yeah. It's so fucking weird. Like, but they made River City Girls.
Which is great.
And Fighters.
Yeah, Fighters is great. BlazBlue is really good.
What's Wizard Symphony? Like, I've never heard of this game. They're so. they're so. Oh God, it's like a Play Asia link is the first thing that comes up.
A Japanese only game, because I wouldn't be surprised if they have games that only come out there.
Oh, it's like a first person dungeon crawler. What, with a bunch of like weird little anime boys and girls? That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's fucking crazy. Anyway, yeah, we got a very short trailer for Sky Children of Light. I don't know if anybody but me remembers this. This is the one from the people that made Flow and Flower and
okay.
What's the one with the little Jawa?
I know what it is. Journey.
Right. Yeah, it's that game company, I believe, is the name. Yeah, that game company. Sky was the game that they made after that, and it was a phone only game, but it's being ported over to the Switch, and it finally got a release date for the Switch. So July 6th, it's coming out on the Switch. Which I'm really excited because I do not want to play it on a cell phone. Also, there's like a weird tie-in with the Little Prince, like like from the books,
That's interesting.
from the children's books. So, yeah, I don't know. I want to check that out. And then, nope, not totally last. Did you watch the trailer for Palworld?
No.
Okay.
What is this?
Palworld it came out on June 5th, and this trailer is ridiculous. So it's like it's like a Pokemon game. You're flying around. You like got these Pokemon, and you're doing your thing. Here's a bunch of Pokemon, and they're like making a house, and it looks like a really generic Pokemon like game. But then, like they're gardening and stuff is happening. But then the main character has a machine gun, and they're like shooting other Pokemon, and there's like a point where they grab one of the Pokemon little characters. They look exactly like Pokemon, and there's like, loving these Pokemon, and they're like, breed them and make a new Pokemon, and then they go back, and it's like I'm holding one Pokemon in front of me, and it's got a sad face. I'm holding a Pokemon with a sad face, and it's taking all the bullets from these guys that are shooting me, and then I'm shooting guys with a machine gun, and then it's like, oh look, here's another part with a rocket launcher, and I blew up a building, and then like there's another part where there's a bunch of sad Pokemon that are making guns on an assembly line.
They're like M4s. What the fuck?
There's a bunch of sad Pokemon that are like they're like Conan on the wheel. They're turning the wheel. And people are like, what is this game? What is this Pokemon third person shooting game? What am I looking at here?
What the fuck?
One point, the person is fishing and they throw an electric Pokemon in the water and it electrocutes, and then a bunch of dead fish come out of the water. And it's like, what?
My favorite thing is like, okay, you guys, the thing is you're hearing guns, and you're probably thinking they look like anime guns or something. No, they were literally like Call of Duty ass fucking realistic looking guns.
Yep.
And that's amazing.
Yep. And so, yeah, I don't even know what else to say about this. Is like,
I want to play this.
When you get to the part where you see the assembly line of machine guns that are being worked on by a bunch of frowning Pokemon rabbits with like leaf ears.
It's the realisticness of the guns, and even like the fucking like conveyor belt they're on, that is so fucking jarring.
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing.
In the description, this is from the Steam description. It says it's essential for automation to let pals do the manual work. Build a factory and place pals in it. They will work forever as long as they're fed until the end of their lifetime.
That's amazing.
So yeah, interesting.
Holy shit!
Yep.
What the ever-loving fuck?
Palworld is supposed to come out 2022, so there you go.
I want to play this.
Mm-hmm. And last on the trailer parade, as you mentioned before, we got, I'm never playing Fortnite, but fucking Rick Sanchez and Superman are the latest characters in Fortnite.
What a weird combination of people to put in your battle pass.
It's also weird because Rick is rendered in cell shading like a 2D comic character, and he actually looks pretty good. Like for that, like he looks pretty good. And then Superman, everybody else is just not a cell shaded character.
Well, the interesting thing about Superman is his costume, because It's the new 52 outfit because it has the collar on it, but he's got like he's got the trunks with the yellow belt at the same time.
Oh, right, because he didn't have
it's
those.
Literally like both of those together at the same time, and it's really weird to be that, but it looks kind of neat.
And you totally want to try it out.
I was really like tempted to be like, I want to be Superman in a game where he's not a douchebag kind of thing, and it's like my options are limited, but I had to remember that I don't like Fortnite.
Well, what I don't know is like, is this Invasion like a new game mode where it's PvE? Because I don't know, maybe we'd try that out. Because like, there's a part when Superman, like, I don't know if they're just masking the part where you jump out of the airplane, and if you jump out of the airplane as Superman, then he like pretends to fly to the ground instead of gliding. But like, the flying isn't a part of Fortnite, like, or I don't know, maybe it is.
I don't know. Maybe
it is. I haven't played Fortnite in forever, so who knows? I didn't even bother to read the article that explained what this battle pass was. It's just like, hey, Rick Sanchez, he's in there. Last but not least, we've got a few quick final things. The Playdate is getting pre-orders in July. For anybody who doesn't remember, the Playdate is the little handheld console that has a crank on the side.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, it's going to be $179. It's coming out in July. They're supposed to, I believe they said you're going to get 12 like free games. They announced a dock for it that has like a little stand that can go on your desk, and then like external speakers, and it even comes with like a ballpoint pen that you could put into it, like just to put it on your desk if you want to make it like a little clock, because you can put reminders and shit on it. This is the weirdest thing in the world.
It's incredibly weird, but I thought it was kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, they showed off a bunch of games. Bennett Foddy is making a game for it, so that proves to be terrible.
Here's the thing, like, I think it's a nice idea, but I'm also not spending $180 on something like that.
Man, I almost want to spend $180 on it and then leave it in the box and like see what happens, because they're not
see it become a collector's thing.
They're not making a lot of them, right? And it's such an interesting thing. But see, the problem is that I'm going to have it and I'm going to want to like mess with it. I want to mess with it. Like, I want to do the crank, like, because it's just like a weird Game Boy with a crank on the side of it. And I know that at some point, like, the id Software had like Doom on it, and that you use the crank to crank the chain gun.
Yeah, that's right. That was, I think, the first time I saw it, and I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might try for one of these. I mean, who the fuck knows? Like, it's probably going to sell out immediately, right? Like, everything on the internet just sells out immediately, and like you can't get one.
Possibly. So
I don't know. We'll have to see. There's a whole video on it that's 15 minutes long if you want to go check out some more stuff. It's out. Dying Light. I don't know if you were the one that I told that like Dying Light had a whole spin-off game called Hellraid that they were going to put out, that then there's like an add-on in Dying Light. There was an update to that add-on to make the story larger, where they added parts of the story back in instead of just making it like a challenge mode. So you might see a Hellraid video at some point, because I fucking love Dying Light and I downloaded it. So yeah, take that, everybody. And then last but not least, there really wasn't a lot of like fun news this week, but I thought that you would like this, Michael, that the company Arcade 1-Up that sells like flat packs where you can build your own arcade cabinet is putting one out for The Simpsons. It's going to be in pre-order pretty soon. It's got four controllers, so you can play the 4-player version of it. It's not on there.
I really appreciate these guys, because they're coming out with these things that like are not easy to get anymore, because they did it for the Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men, Children of Atom, the both Ninja Turtles arcade games, which like you can't even buy them like in any way.
Yeah,
the X-Men one is on there. I think there's a Mortal Kombat one.
I don't know. I didn't look into this super hard, but like, do you know if they come with a monitor or like the guts, or is it just the cabinet?
As far as I know, it comes with everything.
Okay,
because they're real expensive. They're like
500. Something
like that. They're real expensive, but you can get them like at Walmart. But they're also not that big either.
Oh yeah,
like, because you see like on these images, you see that bottom part right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that part is like an extra part that goes under it, sometimes, kind of thing.
To make it tall enough to stand in front of?
Yeah, because otherwise, like, you just sit in front of it, kind of thing.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, you can buy these like at Walmart a lot of times. Like I've seen I've seen the Pac-Man one a lot of times, and I'm always tempted to get one, but they're, like I said, they're fairly expensive, kind of thing.
If you're gonna get one, which one would you get?
That go with them. I thought about getting the Ninja Turtles one because it comes with Ninja Turtles and the Turtles in Time one. I also thought about maybe the one that came with Marvel Superheroes, Children of Adam, and I think it had Marvel's Capcom one. I can't remember which one specifically had each one, but I would love to have one of these. But like, I just don't have anywhere could put them. Is the only reason I didn't buy one when I had the fucking stimulus.
It'd be interesting to get a Mortal Kombat one because you don't see the Mortal Kombat button layout that often. Even on the like when Mortal Kombat's in another cabinet, a lot of times it's like a 6 button. They do it with the Street Fighter buttons, right? As opposed to having that 5 button configuration. It's like very specific to Mortal Kombat. Or I guess this one is made to be able to run Mortal Kombat 3 as well because it has a run button on it. So yeah, it might be interesting. I don't know. I was thinking about getting one of these one time, but then I'm like, again, the older I get, the more I'm like, look, man, you've been through this enough times in your life. You're going to get this thing. It's going to be super exciting. You're going to set it up. You're going to play it for a week. And then you're going to be like, yeah, it's my fucking Mortal Kombat machine over there. I don't ever fucking play it. You want me? I'll turn it on if you want to play it. No? Okay, cool. I'll leave it turned off and it'll collect a lot of dust. So
yeah, part of that, like I said, that's part of the reason. One is I don't have the space, and B, I can't justify it at the moment. As much as I would fucking love to, but yeah.
Well, you know what? We don't have a lot of time left, but we may be able to do a few questions here. Let me pull up some questions. We had a pretty heavy question this week that I feel like I'd like to take a quick stab at. Septum Sin writes in and says, "Greetings, Rage Lord. My father passed away this Sunday, and though it is not entirely unexpected, his passing was still a shock and difficult. So sorry to hear that.
Very sorry.
Had to take time off work in order to help my mother making arrangements during the day, my night job, as my mental state is not able to handle that level of work required at the ER level. Oh my goodness, that's got to be even more.
I'm so sorry.
I've been busy both today and yesterday, and I've noticed that even during these times, I have more downtime than I had since I was in my early 20s, and I'm in my 40s now. Also, with both my grandfather's passing at the same time of year and Father's Day coming up, I'm not certain how I'll feel as this month goes on. I've been thankful to video games at least over the weekend, with Ghost of Tsushima helping me occupy my mind, and also having the Rage Select podcast and recent episode of the Airport for Aliens run by dogs.
Oh my God, that thing was fucking amazing. I loved it.
Giving me the only laughs I've been able to muster. So with the time ahead looking empty, Ghost of Tsushima beaten, and time alone, and thoughts, I have been having trouble keeping myself together, and I had 2 questions. One, I've been playing on my PS5, but have been trying to find a fun game on the Xbox Series X that could occupy my mind and help me bear the grief. While I must be strong to help my family while still grieving myself, do you have any suggestions? 2, I've been unable to have the time to keep up with the vast library of Patreon episodes. One reason why I organized as I've only been able to watch around 50 to 60% of them all. Yeah, we make too many fucking videos.
There's a lot.
Calm down, Jeff. Fucking 10 videos a week. Fucking 8-year anniversary. You do the math, motherfuckers. You see how many videos there are.
Jesus Christ.
Are there any of them that you feel are particularly funny or entertaining, like the one above, that would be good to listen to? Want to thank you for all this. Thank you for this, as your YouTube presence has helped me make it through this hard week and to this recent tipping point. If I could ever reach a windfall of money via the lottery or other means, your Patreon will be the first on my mind to greatly increase. Thanks again for being amazing people, producing amazing content. You deserve 50 times what you get. Your Patreon, Septum Sin versus the World. Well, thank you very much. I'm sorry again. I have a real hard time with. I'm never entirely sure what to say when it comes to this sort of thing. But so sorry to hear that. Let's see if we can figure stuff out. I got to tell you, as of the time that you're hearing this, that Ratchet & Clank game is going to be out, and I've heard nothing but good stuff about it. The worst thing I've heard about it is like it's not that different from previous Ratchet & Clank games, and like previous Ratchet & Clank games are fucking amazing. So,
Also, we haven't had one in a very long time.
Eat it, Harvey. But as far as Xbox One games go, I'm trying to think. Let's see.
That airport game is on there.
Yeah, airport for aliens run by alien airport.
You need to save that dog who got turned into a human.
Oh yeah, he was.
You have to.
He was having such a bad time. He was having such a bad time.
I felt both so bad that we left him.
Yeah. So let's see. From the stuff that's been out, let's see. These are just new releases.
Do you like Duke Nukem Forever? It's backwards compatible. Why don't you play Duke Nukem?
Okay, so last week, depending on how you feel about various games, Alba, a Wildlife Adventure came out. Grant and I did a Patreon video on this, so that's a Patreon video you can listen to. But this is a phone game, and it's very much. It was from the people that made Monument Valley, and it's like you're a little girl on this island. You're like a wildlife photographer that's like helping animals, and like just very cute, very kind of Animal Crossing meets like Pokemon Snap. Very easygoing, but like with just a kind of a big checklist of stuff to do, and then just like very low pressure. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some of the stuff that's come out recently on the Xbox that's been Xbox specific. I don't think there's been anything.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been anything that's been Xbox specific, but as far as the Series X goes, like Judgment might not be a bad idea if you haven't played that, because that's like a really big game with a lot to do, right? So it'll keep you occupied, like big checklist full of stuff to check out, and then in between you get this like crazy murder mystery. Immortals is also. I mean, I've been banging the drum for Immortals for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was the last actual Xbox exclusive?
They don't get a lot is the issue. Like a lot of their stuff is very much like this came out on everything.
Yeah. It's all on Game Pass though, right?
Yeah, everything that came out that was there is on Game Pass. So it'd be specifically them. Which is why it's so difficult to know, because I don't fuck around with my Xbox so much the way yours does. I think.
What? No,
only
Xbox.
I don't have an Xbox Series X.
No, fucking Metacritic. Quit being a dong. Sort by Metascore. Are you seeing? Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Ori and the Will of the Wisps would work really well on the Xbox. Well, actually, no, that's not true, because I do know some stuff. Ori and the Will of the Wisps was a little hitchy on the original Xbox. I assume that Xbox Series X is going to run a lot more smoothly. So if you haven't played that and you have Game Pass, boom, that's a good one. If you haven't already played Control, the enhanced edition for the next gen consoles came out, so that's a good one. What was I just thinking? Gears Tactics is amazing and really
Gears
good.
Tactics is real good.
So those are probably some ones that I would recommend. That new Subnautica game came out. That's a good one. That's easy to sink a lot of time into. A lot of the cross-compatible stuff. I mean, I just get Game Pass, start downloading stuff, and then play it and see what happens.
Yeah, if there's a lot of games that you never like really played that was their exclusive stuff, like the Halo games, the Gears of War games, Sunset Overdrive is one that's pretty underrated. I think a lot of those games are stuff that you could probably really get into for long periods of time.
If you want a short one, that Gears 5 Hive Buster expansion was like 2 hours, like a 2-hour campaign.
Okay.
And was really fun, like really, really fun.
This is the tricky thing about Xbox is their exclusives aren't as many, at least at the moment, because they are working on getting a lot more of those, luckily. But at the moment, it's a little tricky to really say anything that isn't just also on a PlayStation. But there's nothing wrong with that either. Like, you can just buy those things on your Xbox instead.
True.
And then just go from there.
Very true. As far as Patreon videos that you should definitely check out, oh boy, there's so many Patreon videos. Sheesh.
It's hard to remember the ones that like I remember being just fucking absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
There's a few in there that I remember being like just fucking nuts on.
Amanda and I did the Honey Pop. We did a second Honey Pop for Patreon that was pretty raunchy. Let's see. There's so many of these. Michael and I did that Sense a Cyberpunk Ghost Story with the huge booby lady, and that was just like,
oh yeah,
inexplicable. Like, it was the horniest game, and I have no idea why it was so horny.
It was fucking weird as shit.
Matt and I
a lot of fun.
played Drunken Fist, which was really silly. We were just a drunk guy, and it's like a physics-based fighting game.
That one was a lot of fun, actually. You guys should definitely watch.
Michael and I played Guilt, which was a Stadia exclusive that ended up being a really fun game.
That was a lot of fun. That was actually real good, yeah.
Yeah, I played all the way through that. Let's see. That was when you and I played that G.I. Joe Operation Blackout.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
That was real bad.
So bad. If you didn't see the second part of where Matt and I played when I made myself in The Sims, and I went to the Star Wars world in The Sims 4, and we just played really badly the entire time. I think that's the one where I either pee my pants and then try to do a lightsaber fight and lose terribly. Definitely fun. I mean, I don't know. You go back through
But
here.
what'd you do in the game?
What's that? Oh, yeah. There's you and I doing, we finished off Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we finished because we played the entire fucking plot, like, from beginning to end, yeah.
Man, so many of these. I mean, there's all the John and I played through all of the Souls games.
Zombieland Double Tap was so fucking ridiculous. That one... because you're oh my god, one of my favorite things that's ever happened was in that game. It was the weird, like, was clearly like a placeholder audio played. That was just oh my god.
Oh yeah. There's a lot. Here's I just got drunk and played Portal.
That one's a good one.
That's 2019.
City Girls we did.
Oh my god. Here's okay. Here's 2015. Let's see. Oh my god. I don't even know. Here's me and Brian Salisbury playing Nidhogg. Did that happen? I don't remember.
Apparently, it did.
Like, I don't even.
He's recorded a lot of these guys.
I don't even remember some of these games, like Carmageddon with Aaron. Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie Trilogy with Brian Salisbury. Toxic with John. Oh, that was like an online multiplayer game. Jesus. I don't even know. You know what? I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to say, Septum Sin, maybe look in the comments and people can go into the comment section and say, God, remember that Velvet Assassin? I played Velvet Assassin with Jason in 2014. God damn. Good Lord. Oh, Jazz Punk. Jason and I played all of Jazz Punk for Patreon. That was a hoot. That was a total hoot. Here's a Sparkle Fandango prototype podcast that we did on Patreon in 2014.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is like all the way back to the beginning, though. This is 2013. You go watch Charles St. Charles, the only Viderotica Charles St. Charles episode that we ever did.
There's so many fucking videos of these guys. It's unreal how many he has of these.
Yep, it's pretty amazing. Here's some Sarah videos. Here's Dying Light. This is playing Dying Light with Sarah. Pony Action or Pony Island. That was when we finished Pony Island. In fact, it looks like we did a lot of Pony Island with Sarah and I. Oh, wow. Here's a bunch. I don't even know who my co-host was with these. I did these by myself, actually. Yep.
That sounds right.
Yep. There's so many. Here's that
a lot of videos, guys.
There's that 3-on-3 freestyle game that I really liked. I played that with Amanda.
Oh, okay.
Lady Killing Her Bind Part 3 with Matt and Jennifer. Just a lot. There's a lot of this is exhausting. Just looking at these. Did this ever make it on the main channel? Them's Fighting Herds, the My Little Pony fighting game I played with Matt. There's you and I in the early days when we finished out From Dust Till Casa Bonita on Patreon.
That was a lot of fun. But the game was just fucking fun in general.
Here's where you and I played Super Daryl Deluxe, a game which
that one was a lot of fun.
Nobody knows.
That was fucking crazy. It was like, what the fuck is this?
How did this happen? I played the Warmind Destiny 2 expansion with Matt and John. Why? How?
I don't even know.
Why? Here's a game called Dude Stop that I played with Chris. I don't even know what this is. This is in 2018.
I don't even know. Yeah, what the...
Yep. Just play it all. Play it. Just get it on there. Get a playlist. Star Wars Squadrons with Chris. I don't know. I'm sorry to hear it, though.
We did a third part of the jump the Jump one, didn't we? The
Shonen Jump.
Force?
Oh, Jump Force.
I think we did a third part to Jump Force.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched that one too because that one's also full of insanity.
218. Here's Ape Out with John. Did we do Ape Out? Wait, did I not do Ape Out on the main channel of Rage Select?
I guess not.
Did I just do it with John? Because Ape Out is the best. You gotta ape.
It's fucking great.
I think that when we played that, I just screamed Ape Out. Like every 30 seconds, I just screamed Ape Out. Nope, that was totally for Patreon.
Did you ever do the reverse one where it's like you have to break in?
No.
And then break out. I think it's one that you have to unlock. I think once because once you finish the game, there's a mode where it's like you have to break in and then break out. You have to save like a baby or something.
Holy shit! I never played Hypnospace Outlaw on the main channel. I only played that on Patreon with Matt. Hypnospace Outlaw is that game where it's like a MySpace. It's like a fake AOL from like the early 90s.
Oh yeah,
in people's dreams. Yeah, it's so crazy. Here's me playing Pathway with John. This is like one of John's favorite games. This is do you even know what this game is, Michael? Pathway?
It sounds familiar.
If they just put it on the Switch, it's like a tactics roguelike Indiana Jones game where you're like an archaeologist that's fighting like Nazis and like
okay.
But it's like an XCOM style turn-based action game, but then it's also a roguelike with different characters where every time you play it like rejuggles everything. It's great. There's so many things.
There's a few Patreons of me and Jeff in fighting game stuff. Those are kind of fun too.
Yeah. It's funny because I was like, well, let's not just tell him all the ones that you're in, Michael. But then I'm like, but Michael doesn't know any of the rest of them. So
I don't either. Well, I know a few, but like it's been so long.
You go all the way back to the beginning and see Jason and I played like that.
Like Grant's, Zelda playthrough is a lot of like that you guys did was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, then there's just the full playthroughs. So
yeah, there's a whole bunch of full playthroughs that also are really a lot of fun.
Yep. Anywho, that took up too long. I was going to try to do. No, let's do. I got to do one. Discord question.
Right, just one.
The Discord people are paying. Let's get the Discord questions. Let's see. Where did I leave off here? Judicator Prime says, "Dear Jeff." This one doesn't apply directly to you, but I'm just going to do it. He says, how the fuck do you play games drunk? I took 6 shots of vodka, and I can't even get past the first level of Streets of Rage 4 on easy. Like, what the fuck, man? Thank God for autocorrect. And praise be to the Dong Lord. Dong lied. Amen. I'll probably regret this question later, but right now all things are possible through Don Cleese who strengthens me. Hallelujah.
Just jot that down.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, Judicator Prime, like the games that I play the most when I'm drunk are like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, games I literally have muscle memory to be able to play, or like online multiplayer games. I don't play anything that has like a story or anything that I have to like that needs coordination. Like, well, part of the whole reason I play Bloodborne.
That's not entirely true, because there was that time we played Mortal Kombat X and you fucking annihilated me with Melina. And you
that's
were
true.
Drunk off your fucking ass when you did.
That's just muscle memory, man. That's just muscle memory. Like it doesn't have any. There's no problem solving there. It's just
I was sober as hell, guys. I was really good at Mortal Kombat X at that point, and he still fucking annihilated me.
Melina is a bitch, and she has teleports, and I've been using those teleports to make people stop playing Mortal Kombat since Mortal Kombat 2. So
I tried for a while. I could not, for the life of me, like completely beat him. I won like a round here or there, but that was it.
Yeah, the thing is that I would just come home from the bar all the time and play Bloodborne. So that's how I would do it, is because I just come home from the bar all the time and play Bloodborne.
Oh, one of the first nights I spent at Jeff's after something we did, he was like, watch this, and he got super drunk and then plowed through this one area in Bloodborne like nothing, and it was amazing. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I used to be able to get like a quarter of the way through the game, just like without hardly even looking at the screen. But that was also because I did it all the time, and now I don't play Bloodborne, so I'm not as good at it. So anyway, that's it. We're going to leave it off. Michael, where can the people find you when you're not over here? Help me out.
You can find me on oneofus.net. I just did a recording for a review, so hopefully that will be out, but I'm not sure when it'll be out. But we recently watched The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, and so I'm hoping that comes out soon. So enjoy that whenever it comes out.
All right. Definitely do so. And send your questions to mail at ragesite.com. That's it. That's a podcast. But it's just the beginning, Michael. It's E3 2.5. E3 is right around the corner. I'm not ready.